really sorry about this. There's nothing I can do about it though. Alright, so Evan, are you ready on the timer? Probably are. I'll just do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is hello, Ben Saunders.
Smoke weed every day.
Alright. Yeah, okay. There's Ben Saunders first. Now, this is Spyro 117 featuring lots of frame drops. Hopefully my internet will cooperate soon, but until then we're just gonna try to continue.
Hello?
Oh, hey Dust. Yeah. This category is just the 100% category for this game. Older games like this really like putting really huge numbers for 100% completion. First level we're gonna go to Sunny Villa. It's pretty straightforward. This game's a lot more linear compared to Spyro 2, which you just saw. There's not going to be much skips or anything as far as homeworlds go. However, inside the levels, there's going to be quite a few things we do, so we don't have to backtrack later. First thing you're going to notice like that is the Sheila skip in Sunny Villa. We're just going to jump into the back of the portal instead of going to unlock Sheila first, which would be really slow. Also, the person in mumble with me is Alex. He's 4 seconds behind my time in this game, so he's also very good.
But now you're using Vita, so loads are faster.
Yeah, now I'm a cheater. Yeah, I guess I'll mention it. Vita's kind of a recent thing, and as far as the Spyro games go, about a month ago, people started looking at a Vita and they tested load times, and they figured out that it was a lot faster than PS2 FDS, and even much more faster than PS2 SDS. So for this game, I'm probably going to be saving about 2 minutes and 30 seconds over my PB just by loads alone.
Yeah, it's been for the longest time you'd have to play this game on SDS on PS2 or a PS1.
Yeah.
Because FDS crashes during cutscenes in this game. But it was also found a long time ago that you can like uncrash the game on that cutscene by opening the disk tray and then closing it right away. But it wasn't really used because I guess people
until Vita came around, it
banned it,
was considered a dodgy kind of thing to do, but now that Vita's around and it's still faster than PS2 FDS, we've decided that it's worth allowing FDS to allow more competition. So yeah, this is Sheila's part of the level. It's pretty simple. You just run around and get all the gems. Your goal is to save someone who didn't actually want to be saved.
Yeah, I think she has a text box saying that. She has a restraining order on the guy. Don't know.
One thing that's useful for movement with Sheila is if you kick after doing a large jump, it will cancel the fact that you can do a large jump after that again. So for that jump right there, if I hadn't kicked, whenever I tried to jump again, I would have done another massive jump and wasted about a second or so. Why is she not talking to me? Alright, I went for a proxy at the beginning of this level. If I would have gotten that, I would not be doing this backtrack right now. Basically, the proxy would have jumped up onto those pillars and done all of that stuff before now, but since I didn't get that, we're just doing the old route where you go and get that now. I think the task actually doesn't use the proxy because it was done before the proxy was found.
The thing is, proxies were known about for quite a while, but no one really knew how they worked at all until it was looked thoroughly in a task simulator by Nitrovsky. And now a lot of routes have been changed because of it.
Yeah, this game got a lot more broken while Nitrovsky was working on the task. There were several different proxies found.
Thank you for rescuing.
Spyro 2 got broken pretty well during that time as well.
I'm sorry.
Alright, now we're gonna go do skateboarding. It's probably what most people remember most about this game. The first challenge is no timer, you just need to kill all the lizards. The second challenge is a little bit harder, you're on a timer and you're not allowed to crash.
Here. Just come back if you want some boarding tips from the master.
We get most of the gems during the first challenge, that way we can free up some extra movement and do the second challenge a little bit faster. Oh, okay, almost missed that lizard. Alright, first challenge went very well.
Hey, that. All right, if you can.
Second challenge is pretty much the same thing, all the lizards spawn in the same spot, but since I don't have to worry about gems, I can do these lizards in a faster order. Wow, okay, I have a lot of speed right now. That's actually causing problems. So, I'm not exactly sure how gaining speed works on skateboard, but something about while you're in the air, you have some sort of stored momentum, and whenever you're on the ground, that momentum is constantly draining, but whenever you're in the air, the momentum isn't draining. So, if you are constantly jumping and gaining momentum from each jump, then you'll have a bunch of excess speed, and when you finally hit the ground, you'll use a lot of that all at once. And right there, as you saw, it caused a few problems for me. I made a few jumps way too high.
So, you're the one in rescue.
So now we're just gonna grab some gems on the way to Cloud Spires. We're gonna get that gem, because leaving it behind would be a pretty bad idea. I think my internet is stabilized, at least a little bit. Alright, so we're gonna do this level backwards mostly. If you do it the other direction, the correct direction. There's a few things that aren't spawned and you'd have to pay for the bellows. You'd have to pay money bags extra time. We don't want to pay money bags, so we're just going to go to the very beginning, or the very end of the level first. If my camera cooperates. Alright, we're just going to do this jump. I was supposed to do a different jump there, but since Spyro didn't jump, I did a safer way.
So I can talk now.
Hello, hi. Wait, oh, wrong route. I'm getting a little bit mixed up in this game. Having run every category at least once in the past day has gotten me pretty confused on strats.
Yeah, never do that with this category.
All the categories are similar enough that you can really get strats mixed together. Yes, Sun Seeds is just following the Sun Seeds and trying to grab gems while you're on the way. Every seed is on a timer, so if you don't flame it in between those set checkpoints in the right amount of time, the seed will despawn and you'll have to go back to the beginning and get it again.
And all these sun seeds put together just turn into one big sun.
Yep.
Just pretty much the goal of the challenge.
Yeah, I don't remember the plot behind Sun Seeds, but basically this weather is a bunch of people this level is a bunch of people complaining about the weather, and you have to fix it for them. They literally expect Spyro to change the weather for them.
Because that's how the real world works, right?
Yeah. And I think my internet is playing a little nice. The square is actually green instead of red or gray. Alright, so that challenge was getting rid of the spirits to make the cloud wake up. The cloud was supposed to make it rain or something, and it wasn't doing it because it was sleepy.
And you'll see him do a little thing after collecting all the gems. That he'll jump and then pause immediately after and then exit level. And what that does is kind of conserve the jump momentum as Spyro is dropping down from what you entered from here. You can just end up, you kind of pushed up in the air a little bit and you can just end up gliding this area quite a bit earlier.
I'm just gonna death abuse. Yeah, it really breaks this area. Normally you'd have to pay for the bellows from money bags.
At 10 gem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a little skip. It's a little money bag skip that he's supposed to make these bellows, elevators, kind of go up and down for you to get to that little area.
Yeah. Since we come from the very beginning, or the very end of the level, and since we did that skip from the upper area, we just got up to the elevation where we were supposed to be that way, instead of paying money bags. You actually only need to pay, well, you don't need to pay money bags at all in 117. There's skips for every instance of money bags, but for the most optimal RTA route, we pay him twice.
Yeah, if you watch the tasks, it basically skips every single money bags.
The only one it doesn't skip is in Molten Crater because Boar Proxy was not found while the task was being made.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay, task pays it once, pretty much. And you can really skip all of them. Yeah, that level ends right near the beginning.
Yeah.
Really mixed up route,
Oh,
but it all just looks really nice.
We're gonna do that for a couple levels. It's not as common as a theme in this category as it is in some of the others, but I think the ones that I can currently remember, Haunted Tomb and Cloud Spires, are all that come to mind. Yeah, we're gonna use Whirlwind Swim in this category as well. There are two other methods of getting swim, Tree Swim and Mountain Swim, but Whirlwind Swim was found a while ago by Jeremy Thompson, and it's turned out to replace all of the other methods completely for every category. Except Waterfall Swim, but nobody's tasked enough to do Waterfall. And we do have all the gems, because I remember this gem count.
Thanks again, Spyro.
Yeah, another money bag skip there.
Yeah.
Just portals are well, locked portals are stored underneath where the portal would be. So just going out of bounds like that, we can just enter the portal where it's stored.
Unfortunately, Jeremy's introduction for this level is no longer relevant, since we do have to guide them to their homes.
Yeah. I didn't really hear that part of JT's until you played it on any percent.
I was in Mumble with a few people when it happened, and we were dying. If anyone doesn't know, Jeremy is a very good runner of any percent in this game. He also runs 100 egg, but he's put most of his time into the 80% category.
Yeah. A lot of this level is based around guiding these mountain goats to their little cozy homes. And there's these enemies blocking the way, so you have to kill them for them.
Yeah. Most of the enemy placement in this level is RNG, so sometimes you can get some pretty bad enemy spawns, costing you a second or two of movement. We do these mushroom houses in a somewhat specific order. It doesn't matter what order you smash them in, but it does matter if you kill an enemy or a mushroom house first, or last, I mean. If you kill an enemy last, the goat will not start moving until the enemy's body has despawned completely, so it's quite a bit faster to kill one of the homes last instead of an enemy. I don't actually think that matters in this category though. The goat's gonna walk across anyway. So pretty much ignore what I just said for this.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter because you're basically collecting a lot of these gems while he's just going over to his home. I think he might have missed gems, I don't know.
I don't think so, but maybe. If I did, I know where one would be.
Oh no.
Yeah, okay, I did miss gems. And I'm trying to play fast when I'm not. Yeah, it's that 5 gem. There's some gym RNG in this game. Certain gyms don't always go where they normally would. Like that head bash chest. Sometimes the gems will fall off and land below, and sometimes they'll stick up on that hill. You really have to pay attention to make sure you get all of them.
Yeah, usually best when the gems are popping out, you catch them in the air.
Yeah.
Instead of relying on RNG.
At last.
Alright, so now we're gonna go to Molten Crater. There's two routes for this level. One of them uses Boar Proxy, but it makes the ending of the level pretty awkward, so almost nobody does that route. If you were to do a Moneybags-less run, that would be the route you would do though.
And usually, like, Boar Proxy is... you'd expect it to kind of be fast, but... I don't know. I've done a couple runs where I got Boar Proxy, but I was nowhere near close to a best segment without it. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to really time the difference because it's such a hard route to do consistently. Oh man.
Yeah, that little area is a bit awkward to do because of enemy placements kind of being bad. Oh my god.
Just for people to know, the first homeworld is the only homeworld I didn't practice because I assumed that I would be somewhat okay at it. But I've gotten used to the gym range of the other levels. I've gotten used to having the first Sparks ability. So a combination of that and not being used to these levels is making this go a lot sloppier than it should.
Here, take this.
You know, a lot of this level and quite a few others have really awkward routes.
Yeah.
It's not like Spyro 1 or 2 where
Spyro.
like you have to do a bunch of funky lines in your movement to grab gems from. Because a lot of gems in this game are kind of spread out.
Yeah. A lot of this game is pivots and turning quickly.
So, here's a character you're not supposed to have yet.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot that that was a skip. So yeah, the loading zone just bleeds out right there. All you need to do is jump on top of it to access this level.
Oh no.
Yeah, this level has gone great so far.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
this is Tiki Head's challenge.
Stop!
Yeah, if you drop any of the Tiki Heads in the lava, then, like he did twice, it'll respawn back in its original spot.
Please! Okay, it's fine. Yeah, the birds in this level do not damage you. They're just there, placed in the most annoying spots to make you drop the tikis. That's not gonna work.
And some of the TVs are kind of placed in spots underneath the little, I don't know what you call it, flamethrower or something.
Yeah. I really enjoy making this challenge annoying. Sergeant Bird is the fastest side character aside from Agent 9 with his zigzagging, but he's also one of the most annoying characters to attempt to control.
Yeah, for people who don't know, there's a little mechanic that we use to kind of speed up Bird's movement, and it's holding down both of the strafe buttons, which is L1 and R1,
Spyro!
and just using those buttons kind of just speed up his movement a bit.
Whenever you strafe as Bird in this game, your movement is faster for some reason, and if you hold down both of the strafe buttons, it lets you constantly have that movement speed no matter what direction you're going in. I think it actually makes you accelerate to top speed faster as well.
Yeah, you basically have free control. Well, mostly because it's kind of weird to turn with it because you have to let go of the strafe buttons sometimes if you want to turn.
Yeah. Whenever you're holding down both strafe buttons, you are locked to facing in a certain direction.
So yeah, just a bunch of weird finger movements that you have to do.
The route here is, in this mini challenge, is done specifically so that you can carry this supercharge in some places to use it. Since this level had a key, we have to go back to the very beginning of the level to unlock a key chest. That's Molten Crater, done pretty sloppily, but we're out, so that's okay.
Yeah. Usually for people missing gems, there's pretty common because all the gems are spread out
Yeah.
pretty awkwardly in the level, and you can kind of easily forget.
Yeah, levels with multiple side areas are the worst for missing gems because even when you have the Sparks ability, it's like, take Fireworks Factory for example. If you miss gems in one of the 3 side areas, you'll have to enter every single one, test the Sparks ability, see if Sparks moves, and then go move on to the next one if that wasn't the right one. Sparks ability I'm talking about, every time you beat a Sparks level in this game, you're given a certain ability. The first Sparks level, you're given extra Sparks range. The second one, you're given a Gem Finder ability. The third one, you're given an extra hit point. And the last one, you are given the ability to warp between levels, and Sparks is now powerful enough to break vases and baskets for you, which makes the last homeworld much faster. Our route is centered around doing Sorceress first because of that.
Yeah, and Sparks levels are unlocked only after defeating a homeworld boss.
Yeah, so
after a homeworld boss is defeated, you'll see Grant just exit level out of there to go back to the homeworld he was in and go towards the Sparks level that unlocks.
the only level we don't do that for is the final one because you can actually just access the Sorceress normally instead of using a vehicle. Evan updating the game 40 minutes in or something. Yeah, I guess we're not getting the free 4-second time save because I forgot to do the race. Another version difference in these games. Version 1.0, whenever you're getting talked to by Sparks at the very beginning of the levels, there's a few moments where you can pause the game and exit before he actually starts talking to you. So if you wanted to do a speedway optimally, you would do the time trial and the race first, and then the Hunter challenge last, since Hunter gives you the egg himself, not Sparks. But since I messed up my menuing right there, I'm going to have to do the race last, which will cost me about 4 seconds.
And again, like every other speedway level, like in Spyro 2, has a Hunter challenge hidden in Speedway.
Speedways are commonly known as the worst part of this category because there's many things to do, there's lots of things that can go wrong, and if you fail a speedway race at any time, you have to start the entire thing over. I am totally forgetting how to menu.
Yeah, it's just very easy to just lose time in here because mostly races are failed from falling in the water or missing a ring. And thing about the rings, it's only in the races where their hitboxes are huge. So you can go beyond like what's actually visually there
Yeah.
and still get the ring.
The ring probably
Just to cut
extends
corners.
about another ring width out of it. The rings are just huge in this game for some reason. Not like that in any of the other games, they're very unforgiving. If you try to cut any of the ring corners in any of the other two games, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. This is just a little pointless race we have to do, which they thought would be fun.
It's a good place to fall asleep.
Yeah, just speedways.
They're
It just
extremely boring,
ruins
but extremely
this
scary at
category,
the same time.
Kind of. I'd say these speedways just are part of the reason why this category is not really ran as much.
It helps that it's 4 hours long for most people.
Plus, yeah, it's a long category. Not a lot of people are gonna have time for it.
Alright, so that's that speedway done.
Yeah. Every speedway has 3 things for you to do. Time attack, race, and hunter challenge. Which the hunter challenges are basically auto-scrollers except for this one in this level.
Yeah.
And races, well, they get harder. Plus, they're not really auto-scrollers either, but
Yeah.
because you're trying to optimize, well, ring hitboxes.
Everything can be sped up so much, but taking it risky is very, very, very risky because it can lose you several minutes. Gonna grab those gems through the wall. You saw some weird underwater physics in Spyro 2 where Alex was firing fireballs through walls. They also did something weird with sparks when you're swimming. I guess since Spyro swims quickly compared to when he's charging, and Sparks moves kind of odd underwater, they made it so that when you're charging, Sparks is pushed forward. So if you're charging into a wall, Sparks will get pushed through the wall, and you can grab stuff on the other side.
They really messed up underwater physics in, well, through the last 2 games in the
Yeah.
original series.
The only reason the first one didn't have messed up water physics is because it didn't have swimming.
Also, just to mention, you missed one of the gems.
Okay.
Grabbing through the wall.
Okay. Thought I heard both of them, but I don't know. I'll get them at the end. Might just be my stream being my stream. Wait, did I already get both of those? I did. Huh. I'm remembering the route, but I'm doing things differently before I remember the route, so I get confused. Excuse me.
I think spin jumps were explained. The trifecta stuff. If you were around for 80%, they were definitely explained.
Yeah, basically the back of Spyro's hitbox is slippery for some reason, so you can use it to slide up ledges that are close enough. I'm not sure if it's actually just Spyro shaped like a triangle, or if his butt is slippery, but something about it makes it where it works. I am really too trusting of Sparks right now.
Yeah, I love trying to actually trust Sparks. Yeah, even there too.
So
You'd
this,
expect in this game Sparks to actually grab gems from far away, like he should, but
he has a mind of his own a lot of the time.
he kind of has a weird hitbox with some of the gems.
Like right there.
Here's a little challenge. Yeah.
So that challenge has a tendency to crash if you do some things wrong, but it's easily avoidable if you know what causes the crash. Basically, you don't do the tech skip in this category, so doing the cannons in the wrong order isn't a problem. But if you hit the last cannon too quickly, somehow the effects from the explosions and the screen transition can cause the game to crash.
Yeah, there's quite a couple things in this run that can cause a crash. And there's usually things we have to do slower to avoid it,
Yeah.
which sucks, but programming this game didn't go too well.
The only crash that's really unavoidable, which it's still avoidable, is the the crash that you can get in Haunted Tomb. Basically, when you're in one of the rooms with falling rocks, Sparks can hit a vase off screen, and all crashes in this game basically add up to too many effects happening at once. So if Sparks blows up that vase while you're looking at all the rocks, it can lock up the game.
Yeah, here's Swim Tunnel, which is done already, which, yeah, it has weird controls, kind of, and it's all based around the camera.
Yeah.
Since the camera's wonky, it's really, really weird to control Spyro.
Right, here's Bluto. Bluto's a pretty simple fight. We have a route, a bullet route if you will, where you try to get everything as optimally as possible and not miss shots. It's not going great right now. I've gotten an extra hit that I wasn't supposed to, at least in this category. I was attempting to finish with Sparks, but that's not a problem.
Yeah, you can death abuse right after finishing,
Yeah.
which is fine.
I don't think it's worth death abusing most of the time, but a lot of people do it just because they prefer Sparks, which is definitely a smart move.
Oh, you're gonna do this without it?
Yeah. It's not too bad if you
Yeah, it's not
know where
that bad,
everything is.
honestly.
The only part where it could bite you in the ass is whenever you're underwater, if you're not consciously aware of where all the little gems are.
Yeah, death abusing can end up being slower. Anyway. Even though it's preferable for Sparks, but
Yeah, the only part where it's annoying, where it's going to be really annoying, is right here at this last tunnel. There's a bunch of single gems, and you're going uphill, so you can't really see the gems ahead of time. You normally rely on Sparks to pick up a lot of these for you.
If you did happen to miss that gem,
Yeah, we'll find out.
grabbing through the wall, there's a life bottle. You can just get gold sparks back.
Yeah, I had it. Alright, so now we get to do
Did you really?
Sparks' Buzz.
Wow.
Yeah, my stream probably dropped a frame or something. It's not that unbelievable.
I almost swore when you looked in that part, you saw a little sparkle.
Yeah. Alright, now we get to do Sparks' Buzz and that part of Sparksless, which was fun.
Listen carefully, you.
What's the timer at right now? I want to know if this is like 46 or 44 pace.
My stream's like very behind.
When I heard the sorceress.
I'll tell you when you get on the balloon.
Alright. Well, I'm not gonna get on the balloon. Oh, you mean
4019?
4019. Okay. I was thinking exit balloon. So that's like 46 pace, which is an okay first homeworld. It's possible to get sub 40, although only one person has done it, which is Alex. Anything sub 50 is considered okay.
Yeah, basically this fight is broken.
Yeah. He doesn't like charging into the lava, so you bring him to the edge, and his spin attack stops at the edge. And then, if you don't have him on camera, then he won't do his flame attacks that he's supposed to. And the combination of those two makes that fight go really quickly.
You can also move.
Yeah, you're supposed to have a firewall surrounding him from protecting, well, against you charging him into the lava.
Looks like you're ready.
Just using the camera is just really just speeds up that boss.
Yeah.
Also, here's a little skip called tutorial skip.
Yeah, all it takes to do that.
You're supposed to go through a tutorial on the mechanics of how Sparks works. But you pretty much kind of hold a strafe button, but not charging. You just hold down a direction up the wall and you climb up it.
This level is based around getting a sequence of keys, grabbing gems on the way. We're gonna try to, if I can get the invincibility without getting killed. Okay, yeah. There's invincibility there's a couple power-ups in Sparks levels. There's invincibility power-ups and there's various weapon power-ups. The only power-up that's worth having in a speedrun is the power-up that gives you 300 tiny shots, because each one of those shots does about as much damage as the other power-ups do, and it's really helpful for killing bosses. So we try to save enough shots to kill the final boss without having to rely on Sparks' tiny shots.
Oh god, I thought you grabbed the other power-up.
Yeah.
That was really close.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna go back and get this. I had a brain fart. That's fine though. God help. This crab does not want to leave me alone. Alright, so this is pretty much all the final bosses are in Sparks levels. Oh, whoa, whoa!
I don't think I want to know what just happened.
My controller! I was one shot away from killing that boss
Yep.
right there, and I charged across to make sure that I could get that gem. And then whenever I wanted to turn back around, my D-pad said no. So I went right into his side and killed myself.
Yeah, I've had that happen a couple times. I got a bit greedy. Try to go for the gem a bit earlier than I should have.
So yeah, this is gonna be like a 47
Yeah.
sunrise.
Yeah, with that power up he had, it just does a lot of damage to him. And you're gonna see that in every Sparks level, where he tries his best to not die.
Yeah, the Sparks
With the
levels are
power-up.
actually pretty hard to do quick. You have to be very aware of what's around you and not make stupid mistakes.
Yeah, Sparks is very finicky to control.
Okay, Dragon.
So hopefully the next few homeworlds will go a little better than that. I have practiced the rest of the game.
We had like a 44-ish
Okay,
sunrise.
I'm
SDA.
confused. I thought stuff like after Buzz took a lot longer than it does, I guess. That's actually surprising.
Load screens.
Yeah.
We save like 5 minutes per homeworld, apparently.
Roughly. Alright, so this is Icy Peak. Icy Peak is still a really hard level. It doesn't really change per category. However, we don't have to do Icy Peak jump in this category. At least for the route that I do. I think there are routes that do Icy Peak jump, and I don't know why anyone would ever inflict that pain on themselves.
I don't think I've seen anyone ever use Icy Peak Jump in 117.
I don't remember, does the TAS route use it? Because I think Nighthawk does the TAS route now.
It uses like the little wall glide that gets to that area.
Yeah. There are...
Nighthawk tried to do it.
Yeah.
Why?
There are better routes for this level and many others. Basically TAS only though, or at least too hard to really consider doing consistently. I'm going to be doing a route different than some people. I think this is Saboom's route, where he does the Lake Last. Basically, some of these gems can fall through the ice if you're unlucky, and the route that I'm doing makes it so that even if they do fall through the ice, it's easily recoverable without losing too much time. Also, I just think it looks cooler than the other route, so I chose to learn this one when I learned the category. Being sparksless is very bad in this game, just like the others.
Yeah, being sparkless on ice, it's even worse, especially with these weasels trying to chase you with these TNTs. Because trying to control Spyro on ice, it's really weird. Sometimes you can just misjudge an angle you're turning and, well, you pretty much die to the weasel because of that.
So, it's another thing worth mentioning is there's another crash here that can happen with the cannons. That's good. That's great. Okay. I'm gonna have to do something again. I was supposed to flame that rocket on the first pass, but it didn't work.
You could have died. I think no. Oh, you couldn't have. Only that.
I'm not sure if chests stay broken after you death abuse.
Yeah, I don't think so. Would be nice. Usually when you're checkpointed, sometimes gems inside chests are also checkpointed in a certain state. Something.
Yeah. There's RNG with the gems until you die, and then they go to consistent spots. So this is one of the cannons where a crash is pretty common. Basically, the only thing you can do to prevent it is take the cannon slower than normal. If you kill too many of the birds at once, or if you kill a bird too quickly after destroying that whirlwind, the game can just decide it didn't like what happened and stop working.
Yeah, it tries, like a bunch of the bird's feathers, it overloads the polygons on the screen. And the game just can't handle it. It'll just crash for no real good reason. You have to be pretty slow in the cannon.
Step right up, Spyro. I always knew you were a
There's a few things that the game will automatically tone down, like particle effects from Spyro's flame and stuff. They'll actually get less if there's more objects in the level, but there's certain effects that they didn't even take into account that could become overwhelming, like the bird feathers and the whirlwind stuff. So if you do something incorrectly, the game can get pretty mad. Alright, this is Nancy, which my PB actually fails and loses about 45 seconds to. It's a total auto-scroller and a completely easy challenge, but with the ice physics and how the flame decides to work sometimes, you can get pretty unlucky if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, this is usually a scary spot to lose around to, but it's kind of like Turtle Soup in Spyro 2, where you have to just memorize where the enemies are coming from.
Yeah, once you can anticipate where they're at, this challenge becomes extremely trivial.
Yeah, usually missing a flame on them as they're coming towards Nancy, which they'll try to hit and ruin her show. It's...
Yeah.
It's a lot of time lost. You have to do the whole thing over.
It's pretty satisfying to watch her get hit until you realize that you've just lost a lot of time. And yes, world record does fail Nancy.
Oh, by the way,
My time's 4 seconds slower and it doesn't fail Nancy. Just have a little reminder there.
Yeah. I guess something to point out is, something Alex and I have noticed is, as far as our gameplay goes, he is much better at the beginning of the game than I am, but somewhere between the last few homeworlds, I managed to make up a lot of time against him most of the time.
Yeah, I'm really bad at the end game for some reason. I don't know. Usually the end game scares me because losing a run anywhere there, it's pretty disheartening because I lost a couple hours of my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, as explained like 500 times before in other categories of this run. Well, only 100 egg really, which was done twice.
Yeah.
The thieves get broken only when you get the red thief first, and then the yellow thief, if you get him after, you can make him respawn back at his original spot by just moving the camera, and then he'll only respawn if you let go of the camera button.
Yeah, the strat there is tap the camera button, or flame first, and then tap the camera button, so the thief actually spawns on top of your flame that's already out of your mouth. Alright, I'm gonna take a moment to look for this gem that I'm missing.
I think it's... I don't want to be like
might be at the end of the level.
it, though. I think it's like when you enter that area with the head bashable ice, that's the gems right there.
I'll go in a circle once. If I don't
Or
find
it's
it.
from the head bash crate, or you can crash the game.
I don't want to backtrack, but it may be my best option at this point. Basically, once you get the ability to warp between levels, you can come back to levels really quickly with the Sparks ability and find stuff. Which I guess is what I will have to do, because I'm not going to find that anytime soon. So, later on, after I beat Bugbot, if someone could remind me to do stuff, that'd be great.
Yeah, I noticed you're missing a 5, and now I remember. It's from that head bash crate near the birds that can crash your game.
Alright.
So yeah, if you're on a run and you end up missing gems near the end of the route that you're about to exit, then if you know where that gem is, then it's fine. But if it's pretty far away from the level, maybe, or if you don't know where you missed the gem, then your best option is to warp back to this level after defeating the 4th Sparks level, or sometime in the homeworld, which I guess in the route you would do after Agent 9?
Yeah, probably. That would be the best spot.
Yeah, once you have that ability, you can just warp to any level you want to from the Atlas.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with entering the vehicle to travel between worlds. It cuts down a lot of time on loading times and homeworld movement. This is another speedway, which I am pretty bad at. I do not try to optimize these very much.
Now, optimizing the speedway is a bit awkward, I guess. I mean, it's like most the other speedways in this game. They're just awkward to optimize. Yeah, a thing with speedways, like time attacks when you like quit right after collecting the last gem. Compared to Spyro 2, the things you had to get didn't have gems at all. Well, they did, but they weren't like physical gems that home into you. They're just kind of coded as gems that that'll just collect each time you get a certain item.
Yeah.
But luckily, since these are actual physical gems that home into, you can just exit or quit the speedway instead of having to wait for the results screen to come up. Saves a little bit.
Yeah. This is another speedway race. It's probably not as scary as Mushroom Speedway, since there are no jumps you do here that are really in any risk of killing you. But there's the off chance that your controller will shit on you and you can just miss a ring by a few pixels.
It's making good use of stars here. And of course, supercharging when you can. Which supercharging, you just move faster than flying.
Yeah. Supercharging is faster than flying, but quite a bit slower than having one of the super speed stars, whatever you want to call them.
The thing that's interesting to note is that every speedway you do, your flight speed increases.
Yeah.
So they kind of made it to where you're flying a little bit faster after each speedway you do, which I don't know why. But
That was an okay speedway. Or race, I mean. Alright, so now, since I didn't mess up menuing this time, I'm actually going to be able to show off the tiny little time saver from exiting the level. But first we have to sit through this extremely entertaining auto-scroller. Basically, all the Hunter minigame challenges are centered around him obsessing over UFOs and space cows and other things that probably don't really exist. He's probably just on drugs. But all the challenges from here on out are auto-scrollers with very small things that you could mess up. However, this challenge is basically impossible to fail since the auto-aim is completely overpowered. There's plenty of downtime in this challenge.
I still say the deep, dark story behind him shooting all these UFOs and chasing them is that he's a mad schizophrenic. It's all in his mind.
It makes sense.
Like, really, he's just flapping his arms and just running around in circles in the spot you talk to him, and the Spyro's just standing there. What's going on?
Any donations? I don't have any donations, sorry. I need some donations to be submitted before I can read them. Alright, so here's the little time saver I was talking about. You can pause before Sparks talks to you at the end of the level and exit since he has nothing to give you. He's officially useless at that point.
Yeah. When the Greatest Hits version got released, or maybe 1.1 as well, which I think is Greatest Hits anyway.
Yeah.
They found this issue and just fixed it, I guess. Something like that.
There's some really weird things they chose to fix, but didn't fix other things.
Yeah, the one thing they fixed over version 1.1 or 0 was a little bug with the speedway, is if you leave before gathering all the eggs, I think. If you try to go back for
Did I soft lock the pandas? Okay.
any other, if you're missing any other eggs from the speedway and you try to go back for it by like exiting the level and then re-entering, then that egg becomes unobtainable. So it's basically a soft lock.
I flamed those pandas there to buy me some extra time, but I guess they didn't like it, so they stood around for an extra 5 seconds.
No, it's because you're in front of them.
That was actually in the way.
It just cuts off their animation.
Jeez, I couldn't even
Just-
tell.
Yeah. It's dumb. You just have to be far away from them.
This is another super fun auto-scorer that this category has to offer.
Yeah, this game has a lot of them.
Most of them, there's at least something you can do during them, but there's quite a few of them where you are on a rail and you are stuck doing what they want you to.
Yeah, self-explanatory, shoot the Rhinox that come down, but the thing you don't want to do is shoot the pandas.
Yeah.
'Cause
Shooting
they'll fall off where they're at and you just fail the challenge. You have to do it again.
It's happened a couple times to me where I've just shot random fireballs out of boredom and hit one of the pandas from under the bridge. Since the splash damage from the fireball will also count for hitting the panda, it can cause you some problems trying to have fun. And we're gonna get Pee-wee later, whenever I respawn.
God. Yeah. Yeah, he tried to go for a swim in there here, but it's a little finicky to do.
It's not too
This-
hard, but from the
Yeah.
camera angle that you get from trying to collect the gems, you can't really see how close you are to the edge when you want to press square, so you have to do it either off timing or you have to adjust your camera, which I did neither and failed it instead.
And the thing with swimming underwater, it's a little bit. I don't want to say buggy, but like when Spyro's swimming in water, he's kind of bobbing up and down with the water.
Yeah.
So whatever part of the animation he's in, like if he's bobbed pretty much, I guess all the way down or all the way up, if you try to charge underwater, it kind of eats your input.
Yeah, there's a... Whenever you jump in water, Spyro dips into the water, and along with that, there's a wave cycle, which is what Alex was talking about. Like, the wave just... the water moves up and down to try to make it look like there's waves, but there actually isn't. It's just the actual entire flat surface moving up and down. And it can make some swimming areas nearly impossible unless the water's on the right cycle. We also use that swimming area. We use that swimming area for two things. We needed that thief egg without having to chase the thief, and since it's stored under the bridge, we can just grab it early. And we also needed to be able to skip into Bentley's side area. There's technically a way to clip through the wall beside Bentley, but nobody knows how it happened. It's only happened once, and we don't have a recording of it, so we don't know how to do it. But even then, it wouldn't be faster because you're already in the swimming state.
Yeah, I think as kids, I think like most of us found this very unintuitive. This Bentley area, like I don't think a lot of people knew to spin the TNTs. I don't think that Bartholomew tells you at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't say that I've ever talked to that instance of Bartholomew in my entire life. Even when I was little, I really wasn't into character dialogue, so I skipped pretty much everything.
And also that guy that kind of walks forward and tries to hit you. Like I don't think anyone also knew that you had to kind of stop. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't know.
he will always
Is-
hit you if you don't stop moving.
You're just kind of expecting to just hit him before he tries to hit you, but no, he'll just always hit you if you don't stop.
Yeah, with that, you can do a very small flame charge jump and kill that guy before he hits you. There's also other things you can do, but the flame charge jump looks the coolest.
So there's a bug with this guy's spawning animation. He only spawns if you're in that little blue room that he was in, trying to get the mystery jar, for a little bit, well, a certain amount of time, I guess, or in a certain spot that you're supposed to be in for that guy to spawn. Because if not, he's not going to spawn in.
Yeah, he will just not be there if you do the level in a different order. Be good. Trying to think. I guess the best opportunity to go back to Icy Peak would be before Spider Town, since we know where the gym is.
Can't say for sure though.
Yeah,
It's up to you.
it's probably best to just wait till after Spider Town, just in case. It's not gonna make too much of a difference. Yeah, now we're gonna skip another instance of moneybags. You don't actually pay for any of the side characters in this game, ever. It's always faster to skip them.
Yeah, and luckily you'd expect this category to have a lot of backtracking because of that, but luckily there's just a lot of out of bounds you can do to skip having to pay the side characters.
Camera? Wow, okay, I did that blind, and I can't even do it when I'm looking at it sometimes. Yeah, there's no real indication of where the portals are out of bounds. You just have to trial and error, get a feel for where the invisible load zone actually is. There are visual cues on the landscape around them sometimes, but most of the time you just have to really understand where they're at.
So this is supposed to be the first instance of Bird, but yeah. Skips and stuff.
So, I've captured.
Okay, I gotta remember that 5 gem. We're gonna be
Oh wow.
abusing the teleports in a couple places here. You get teleported twice in this level, I think, and the route tries to make it where you are getting teleported at the most optimal time while still doing stuff. And unfortunately, if you do not do your stuff fast enough, you will have to backtrack.
Also aiming at these, I don't know what you'd call them.
Like flying butterfly net people.
Yeah, I guess. They're pretty annoying, mostly when they just fly up and down sometimes. And Bird kind of just floats down really slow, so...
Yeah.
Plus, your rockets kind of home in a bit weird.
Bird is pretty
just-
versatile for horizontal movement, but if you want to go up and down, it can take forever.
So yeah. I'm sure everyone had fun with this level as a kid. Mainly because of this area.
This level is a nightmare for everyone, including speedrunners, because missing gems is pretty easy. There's gems that spawn for enemies that don't always land in the same spot, so you have to check everything before you leave. And even when you do check everything, sometimes stuff just gets past you.
Yeah, gems are pretty much everywhere from left and right. Just basically all directions. It's just really hard to keep up if you don't really have a route.
Yeah, having a route definitely makes it better, but since we're trying to go fast, we try to rely on sparks for a lot of the gems, and sometimes you can overestimate how much sparks is actually going to help you. Alright, let's not die coming out of here. A death in this level is pretty much a guarantee to miss gems. Because whenever you die, depending on when your last checkpoint was, the enemies respawn, and with them they bring their gems. Did I just not watch that bottle fall on screen? That was interesting.
Oh wow.
You die?
Oh wow, the ladybug.
Alright, so yeah, that was another instance of attempting to do stuff while being teleported. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
killing that enemy was being difficult.
Yeah, only killing that enemy only causes the hummingbird to go to its spot.
Yeah. Everything else in that area was dead, but because that single enemy was there, the hummingbird could not continue. I need to remember to get this 5 gem I didn't earlier. Something interesting can actually happen with that metal chest that I just bombed. If you drop the bomb at the right spot, you can actually blow up the metal chest, but not the floor. And if you're not prepared for that, that could be a very big mistake.
Yeah, I found a little thing with that little secret floor too,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
where I overreacted.
Allies captured.
Basically, if you're like really close to the floor, the breakable floor that is, and you drop all the bombs at once at a specific time, you can make Bird just zip down to the bottom floor like instantly.
Yeah.
Some reason I don't know. It just happens. It's a consistent thing too.
As far as we know, this game has 1 zip. Alright. Now we get to go into Spooky Swamp, which is an easy level and a very annoying level all at the same time. And Sparks is an asshole, just remember that.
Oh yeah, that's also great.
So,
You know, Sparks underwater is pretty awful, especially when you want to come up out of the water
yeah.
and you expect him to grab a gem as you're doing that.
Don't
But
remember
sometimes if you're close up to a wall, something like that, then Sparks can kind of bug out with his like detection of what the gem is.
I'm just gonna dump abuse. I thought there was a basket over there. Okay, so now that that's over, this level is normally based around having to flame all these lamps to unlock the door for Sleepyhead. Instead of doing that, we're just going to skip into the loading zone where Sleepyhead is at. Don't laugh at me, Des, that's not funny.
Can I just like attest that Grant makes the best noises when he makes dumb mistakes like this, or when he's like about to die somewhere and he's and he saves it.
Alright, so Sleepyhead is a pretty easy fight if you don't suck. You're supposed to hit him with those bombs and then stop him from throwing out the green crocs. We're not actually sure if stopping him from throwing out the green crocs is faster or not, but it's definitely much more convenient, so we do it anyway. And towards the end of this fight, there's going to be a trick that I can attempt. Whenever Sleepyhead dies, he instantly drops the egg that you're supposed to get, and if you can get a somewhat precise flop over onto the platform where he's at, you can begin getting the egg before the game would normally wait a few seconds and then teleport you over there. I'm gonna attempt it right here. Okay, if you get a bonk off the bomb, it's impossible to do. You can prevent the bonk, but it's been a while since I've done Sleepyhead at all, so I don't really remember how to do it.
Yeah, you need to time your charge against the bomb as it's kind of in the air, but not too high, just about midway of Spyro's hitbox
Yeah.
or something.
The bombs can be pretty finicky on if you touch them wrong. If you hit them on, they're pretty precise in trying to get them to go straight sometimes.
There's also a risky thing with doing that, like
Yeah.
gliding towards the egg during Sleepyhead's death thing. You can not really softlock, I guess,
You get
in
stuck.
like technical terms. Yeah, you kind of just, I'll call it a softlock just because you kind of do The thing is, the egg cutscene doesn't trigger if you glide towards that little area while Sleepyhead dies.
Yeah,
Because you just kind of warp and then, like, the cutscene doesn't happen.
you'll just have Spyro
And-
eternally looking at an egg.
The game thinks you already collected the egg, so when you try to exit the area and re-enter, it's not there anymore. So the only way to obtain it again is doing Sleepyhead over. That means exiting the level and re-entering.
Yeah. I think
Awesome.
I think Saboom was the person who always did that, and usually got pretty lucky with it. There's a chance of actually not getting the soft lock whenever you glide over, but it's still a pretty stupid thing to go for, knowing that it's easily preventable. Yeah, this is blind, guys. There's not a whole lot extra you can do while escorting this guy. There's a few things that we can do, like getting that head bash chest during... Oh wait, I'm forgetting something. Okay, I didn't lose. That's good.
Oh god, yeah, I saw you just go past that.
Basically you just want to stick near them and make sure that whenever you smash a mushroom, you smash it close enough so the timer he'll be passing over it, that it doesn't spring back up in his way. And also the rocks in this level respawn on a set timer after you cook them, so if you try to go too far ahead of the blind guys, the items will just respawn before he actually gets past them. So you can't go too fast, you don't have too much freedom, but in the moments where you're able to stick close enough to him and some other gems, you can do some other stuff.
Yeah, if you watch the task for this area, it collects everything during blind guys.
Yeah, that's insane.
And it's really not a thing we go for in runs. Because it's risky.
It would only save 30 seconds or so, and it's really scary to think about. Like, I don't even know how hard it is, I've never tried.
The route for this level is also pretty neat.
Yeah.
There is a money bags that you need to talk to get to the area he was just in with the in-level egg. But you have to pay for a door, and you can totally see him right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
But no.
really try to stop you from skipping that money bags too well, considering this level is completely open, and if you're brave enough to go across the water, it's super simple to skip him.
Yeah, they didn't do too well with that.
Okay, that's a floating lobster, or crawdad, whatever you want to call that. Enjoy that.
Oh my god. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I just climbed up the ladder.
That's one of the instances of floating fodder in the Spyro games. There's a few places where that can happen. The only one I can think of in Spyro 1 is the rats in North Cove. If you watch towards the beginning of North Cove where the TNT trick is, you can actually catch a rat floating over there as well. Alright. Now we go to Enchanted Towers, which this level, if you've ever done a blind 117 run of this, or even played this game casually, this level has probably caused you a lot of pain, because it's very easy to miss gems, and even when you do everything correctly, sometimes the flying guys can not give you their gems unless you're having your camera angled perfectly.
Yeah, this is one of the longest levels in the run. It's like over 10 minutes.
He's actually disappearing, is that fair?
Oh my god. Yeah, his model basically had a seizure there.
Okay, I'm pretty sure this isn't fast, but I'm gonna show it off because it's cool.
Oh god. Nice.
Basically,
When's Bond dance first?
yeah. You probably saw, if you were here earlier, Jeremy did that proxy in his run, except his standard for what works was much more necessary than mine. He needed a massive proxy. Basically, you can get squeezed underneath that jackhammer guy, and he will launch you up. I don't think getting that bone first is faster, because you have to do some other things carefully, otherwise you will really screw yourself over. But as long as I remember that, it won't cost me any time.
Yeah, there aren't really too many proxies in this run.
Yeah,
Because, you know, it's like a long category. Why would you want to do proxies at kill runs? But
even with that,
some like that are just pretty easy to do, kind of. But when you fail them, it's not really any time lost, realistically.
like, if I didn't get that proxy, I was just going to clear the room that I didn't and do a much easier strat. But going for that proxy is super simple and pretty fun, so I do it anyway. Getting these green boogers from the ground can be annoying sometimes, but you want to really try to do as little as possible as Bird, because Bird is a terrible character. He's really not fun to try to maneuver.
And especially in this level, you have to fly pretty much above the entire level just to kill these green flying things.
I'm running around in a circle there because I wasn't sure if I got the gems from the green boogers. Whenever you kill them, their gems go somewhere around where they were killed sometimes, and sometimes they hit a wall and stop early. So I always like to check if I'm not sure that I got them. Because if I don't get them before I enter this area, then they're going to respawn, and I'm going to have to kill them again.
Yeah, the thing about flying boogers, you hit them, they just fly back pretty far, and if you look away during that animation, the game thinks you didn't really kill it yet, so their gem doesn't home into you until you have looked at their animation fully.
Oh god, please help me. I'm forgetting the tutorial. I'm just zoning out.
Wow.
Okay. So, this tutorial isn't hard. I'm just very forgetful and on autopilot.
All right.
Everything is the same every time, and everything is easy. However, what I just did before doing this is probably one of my favorite things. If you crash your skateboard before being teleported to the next tutorial piece, Spyro will do the crashing animation in one spot while talking to Hunter, and it looks pretty funny.
Wow.
This is kind of an auto-scroller. There's
I'm thinking you're ready to.
maybe a couple things you can like optimize, just saving frames,
Yeah.
but essentially you're not really losing much time unless you fail the thing.
Yeah, who would do that? But the next part of this challenge is still an auto-scroller, but you can use the time to grab everything else in the level. Also, this bottle is very hard to get without extra speed, so I'm just gonna rack up some points.
No, you rack up speed by just doing a lot of tricks and nailing them. And failing them, you just lose all your speed.
Yeah, failing tricks
And
is bad.
Yeah, it's really time wasting once you fail them.
You don't have to worry too much about score in this, since Hunter really doesn't try very hard, and you can rack up points very quickly since you know how to do some of the major tricks. But
Yeah,
if
he
you don't
has-
pay attention, you can get wrecked.
Yeah, he has a set amount of points.
Oh, does he?
This,
Never
yeah.
paid attention. I just know I've
think-
lost sometimes.
if I recall, it's like 4,200 something that he gets.
That actually will stop me from panicking a lot more. Let's see if I can get this basket now. No, I have too much speed. Did I get all the gems? I think I got all the gems. I'm just gonna do this.
I can't believe.
Yeah, 4,200 or 4,300 right at the end. Essentially, you just really need to be above that, and you'll win pretty much
Okay, it worked.
100%.
Some of the whirlwinds in this game aren't that well programmed. Some of them are set at the very, very minimum height. And if you charge jump or hover or do anything besides walk into a whirlwind, then you cut your height just a little bit. So on those few whirlwinds where
Nice.
they're set at the minimum height, it will, if you do anything incorrect, it will not let you make it up. That almost happened right there, but I got lucky and flopped over the edge. Yeah, I don't know if you still do that in your runs, but you don't need the rock for that balloon. I remember back whenever I was learning 117 from you.
Yeah, I
remember-
saw you. Like, I know you didn't need the rock, I just did it because it's safer.
Yeah.
I didn't think to head bash the balloon. That's actually really good. You can get it with a flame if it's on, like,
Oh,
if the balloon's on a nice little cycle.
I never even considered that. That was too scary of a thought. I just tried head bashing once and it worked. I forgot which order to push buttons in. Normally
You learn.
just-
Oh, you learned that Hunter has a set amount of points, and I learned you can head bash the balloon. We're all learning.
Yeah. Normally in this challenge you're supposed to carry Farley through these rooms and follow him, and he's slow and annoying and we don't like him, so we just abandon him and do everything ourselves. But somehow towards the end he figures out how to catch up and climb all that shit anyway, so we're stuck with him. But it makes it a lot faster than having to throw the ball around with him. Also, I missed a basket, but it's right behind me. I was planning to get that after running around everything, but I forgot. I think KJ coined the name Fuck the Dog for those strats.
I'm ready to patrol. It's good to be back in action.
Oh yeah, a funny little thing that I found out about vases with Sergeant Bird. You can't break them.
Yeah. Sergeant
For
Birds.
some reason, your rockets can't just break vases.
They cannot break vases or head bash crates, which is pretty inconvenient. That's why the route looks a little bit like it does right now. Spyro has to get that head bash crate himself. The rockets for Bird will go straight through head bash crates. Did any of those hit the balloon? Yeah, okay.
So yeah,
Yeah,
you
this
saw
is-
bone dance percent of this. You can get all the bombs with Spyro, but it's really hard to do.
Yeah. Since we've
I
already
wanna do
gone
it.
into Bird, it's much easier to do it
Plus-
this way.
Plus, there's a bunch of these green boogers
Yeah.
flying around, and
Also,
can't really get those with Spyro.
it's not a huge thing to point out, but I don't know why. There was a set of gems back there that I picked up. They were basically two 1 gems stacked on top of each other instead of a 2 gem. If you look closely whenever you pick them up, you can actually see 2 gems come out of it instead of 1. Oh, I forgot. Good. I have to go back to get 2 green boogers now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch Bone Dance though. At least for the first part of it. Yeah. When I got that bone early at the beginning of the level, I said that I'd have to remember something or I'd be losing a lot of time. I did not remember. Normally the route is built around getting that bone that I got first last, so that you have time to get all the boogers and stuff. If you get that first though, it's pretty easy to forget what you were doing, and you can end up teleporting yourself across the level and having to backtrack. I did watch a little bit of Bone Dance.
Okay, I saw a 10 gem.
Oh yeah, I forgot to
Like
get
right
that 10
there.
gem. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
right.
which one you mean. Give green booger gem, please. Okay, I'm hoping I already have that, otherwise I'm gonna have to go fiddle around in that area.
You don't.
Don't, great. Yeah, this is what I meant
Yeah, you
by
didn't.
the boogers fucking around.
Yeah, just a case of
Oh, okay, now it works, sure.
yeah, a case of not watching the like animation of the boogers dying. They just fly back pretty far and then just poof into non-existence. They just turn into a gem. A green gem very appropriately.
No, Runny, this will definitely not PB. It probably won't sub 340. If I play really well from here on out, it might sub 340 though. I don't know how much time I've lost. It hasn't been great though.
I'll compare it with my run, I guess. See where you're at.
Remember that I have to backtrack to Icy Peak in a second too.
Oh yeah.
Spike, please. Back up. Wow, that feeling I can't do quad rocks when my face is in the rock. Oh, did I just get an extra red thing? Dude, nice. So yeah, it's been explained several times before by me, but this fight has 3 phases: the rock phase, the red phase, and the blue phase. And you're supposed to have 3 hits for each on hard mode. If you're quick enough, Bird actually sometimes can drop the power-ups before the next phase turns over, and the power-ups are supposed to disappear, but if you're quick enough you can get them before they're gone. Alright, so I've decided I'm going to wait until after Spider Town, just in case somehow everyone saw that 5 gem wrong. Pretty sure people know what they're talking about though.
37,
Hi, Spyro and Spyro.
25, because is it 25 for Vita? The delay.
Yeah, it's about 25 for the delay.
7, 25. Yeah, you're almost 10 minutes behind my run. Well, no, it's a 3:28:01 because reasons.
Yeah, so I am pretty far behind right now.
My 3:28 has the sub 40.
Oh,
That's
right,
nice,
that is that run. I think there's another opportunity for a green power-up after this, so I'm not going to worry about missing that one.
Yeah, there is another. You have to kill a spider.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah. When it comes to keeping the green power-ups that you get, you have to use them very, well, not so sparingly, but
You have to know how much
Not
you need
too
for
much.
the boss.
you don't want to use it way too much.
Yeah. Like for this boss you need about 80 shots, so you can use quite a bit of this power up before you have to start worrying. Which is good because the power up definitely comes in handy for clearing out large spots and spawners.
Also, this level is very notorious for dying
It's gonna be very
before
funny
the boss.
if I died in Crawdad and not this.
I don't know. Usually people are, oh, okay, now you're just taking it. No. But usually entering with gold sparks in the area is nice.
Yeah.
It usually seals the fact that you're not going to die, but you don't really know.
Yeah.
Because it's very tricky to hit the spiders that are trying to chase you.
Yeah, that was a very good level. No mistakes, no deaths. Now we get to do the quick kill here. You just look him in the face and hold X, and he's dead.
Basically, don't die in this level, and it's smoothly going here. Just like that, the boss is done.
Right, my internet is back to being fun, so hopefully that'll stop soon.
Excellent
I'm seeing
work.
the red square.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was on my stream, but Spyrothon can't see that. Alright, so now we're gonna go back to Icy Peak, because I am great at games. I missed a gem, and pretty much everyone knows where it is except me. Except I know now. Think?
So I guess not to be rude, maybe it would have been better if I did the run. Because frame drops.
Yeah, probably, actually.
Then again, my internet likes to be poop around 2 AM. So maybe not.
Yep, there's the gem, I see it shining. That was actually a good recovery
I'm
route though.
surprised you went for Icy Peak jump to back up this.
Dude, it saved time though.
Now just imagine if you crashed the game trying to go back for this gem. Like that.
I'd be kind of pissed, yeah. Alright, so that is the end of my internet and Midday Gardens. Normally this goes on for spasms of about 10 to 20 minutes, so you'll probably see screwiness up until about fireworks. Or Lost Fleet, I guess, yeah. Oh! Oh, no, no, no! Okay, I forgot about the thing there.
You
Okay, I fixed it.
almost centered the camera.
So, if you
Oh my god.
give me a second to chill.
I'll talk about it.
Okay.
Okay, as you're getting off the whirligig, when you're going to Evening Lake, if you center the camera as you're getting off before the Bianca cutscene triggers, you can soft lock. Or you can soft lock if you center the camera at the right time for it to do that. So the Bianca cutscene never happens, and you're just stuck there. You can't move.
Yeah, that was a very...
Nor can you pause, I
It's
think.
called... No,
So-
whenever you're in that mode is a legitimate soft lock. The only way to fix it is to reset your console.
And given that he's not on autosave...
Oh, am I not? I thought I was. Oh well.
No.
Too late.
Yeah, given he's not on autosave, he basically wasted R40 something.
Don't worry, a reset would have been fine. Alex and I could have raced, right? Yeah, this is another terrible speedway. The time trial is actually probably the most enjoyable part of the speedway. Everything else is total shit. You'll see me clipping through these pedals because I forgot which ones to charge off of. Most of them aren't solid on the outer edge, so you have to know which one is solid to get the extra little time save of doing a charge jump. You can also get some pretty cool charge boosts off the side of these beehives. I'm doing too many of them just because they're cool. Yeah, that speedway went pretty okay. The race here is probably my least favorite race. It's got a lot of risky strats that save too much time to not go for. This is also where one of my more well-known highlights in the community came from, I guess. At least one of my noise highlights. As Alex said, I make some somewhat unique noises whenever I fail stuff sometimes.
The one he made in the Speedway is just something I would never have heard from him. I recommend going to his channel right now and just looking through the highlights.
The highlight is something nonsense, it's just words I tried to come up with to match the sound effect.
What sound effect were you trying to do?
I have no fucking clue. But yeah, this speedway is the longest speedway race, I'm pretty sure. It's
Yeah,
the
it takes
scariest.
like if done good, it's just a little over 240.
Yeah, every lap takes a little over 50 seconds.
You just find that highlight. Yeah, here it is.
Now everyone knows. Yeah, there's a few strats you can do in this race that I don't. Mostly because they feel awkward to me. Like, there's risky strats and then there's awkward strats. I tend to do most of the risky strats, but if something feels awkward to me, I generally try to stay away from it, since if you're not comfortable with something, that's the best way to guarantee that you're going to fail it every single time. But yeah, most of the risky jumps are over. The scariest jump in this speedway is the first jump that I do every lap, where I carry that charge jump for most of the way to that first ring and then turn back right to land on the land. If you jump too late or jump too early, that jump can go very wrong. That's actually around the area where I fucked up stuff in that highlight.
We're almost did.
Yeah. There's also a thing you can get in this level where in certain spots you can actually land on the honey and jump off if you're quick.
Yeah, it's only on the subsurface of the honey.
Yeah.
For some reason, like it has a few hitboxes where you can actually charge up the honey, or even walk on it, or even stand on it if
Yeah.
you get the right spot. You kind of have to be at an angle
Yeah, there's been
to do
a
that.
few people I've seen get it. The one I remember most was Tide, because he reacts pretty well when weird shit happens. This is another classic UFO auto-scroller.
We call this sausages and meatballs.
Yeah. You can
No,
actually...
they're just logs and rocks, but
Yeah, you can actually do some stuff to speed this up. If you, I think you're allowed 5 hits before you fail this challenge, and if you get 4 of those before the very end and then take the last hit, the UFO will try to move towards you really quickly to get you. But since you're at the end of the level, what it ends up doing is flying forward into the trigger that kills itself. So instead of getting you, it just ends up killing itself earlier than it should have. Yeah, I think he actually did make a highlight of it, Ronnie. There's quite a few things that... Oh, I forgot to exit level. There's quite a few things that have happened in speedways that are pretty fun to watch.
in the task for this auto-scroller, it abuses the thing that Grant mentioned, where you get a certain amount of hits and it makes the UFO try to move ahead of you. But the TAS abuses this to where
Oh,
the
yeah.
UFO does try to move ahead of you, but you're jumping in the way of it, so it kind of pushes you forward slightly.
So the TAS is constantly in danger of dying in that spot, but it's just toying with the UFO the entire way. It's actually pretty funny to watch. Okay, I guess that's similar to the thing of wall gliding off those projectiles. Something weird that can happen with these Cat Wizard projectiles, their hitboxes, like, whenever they fire it at you, they have a solid ball, and then I guess around that solid ball there's a piece that damages you. And if you're lucky, sometimes you can touch that solid ball without touching the part that actually hurts you. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because right there, that wizard obviously shot me, and I'm not sure how I didn't take damage. Please die. Alright, now we go into the shitfest of a challenge. This is the reason that I hate this game sometimes. Mushrooms are very inconsistent, very not fun. I was going for a proxy there, but I've never tried it before, so that didn't work.
Yeah, just lots of spin jumping on the mushrooms.
Yeah, there's a few spots where you can avoid the spin jumps, but most of the time it's just a bunch of dumb stuff, and also hoping that the seed actually plants in its spot.
You know, sometimes the seed can just, like as you're spitting it into this spot, it can just kind of hop over the trigger. It just doesn't plant.
Yeah, there's definitely something to it, because it happens to me a lot. Like, I'm constantly complaining about that happening to me. But for other people, that's not a problem at all, so I'm probably just doing something terribly wrong. I almost forgot about a one gem there, trying to do something that I normally don't. Yeah, that was a really clean mushroom section.
Basically, this is all just a little puzzle game for you to figure out like what seed you need to plant. In this last area, you need to have 3 mushrooms planted, which when you get to that area, there's only 2 mushrooms and a flower for you. So it's a bit of a mind game and backtracking for other seeds.
I think that's the first time I hit those 2 vases without having to turn around, so yay me. Trying to drop down from a high place like that can be difficult since you can't really see what's under you. So hitting those 2 vases is actually pretty cool for me. I've never done that before. They're really not flying that.
Honestly, probably the most like why part of why the developers chose 6 rocket bottles in this area. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying. And it's like, I can't really think of any other places where the rocket bottles are. Like, I'm sure they're somewhere, but I can't think of it right now. Unless that is the only occurrence of them.
No, there is one more. It's in the little cave.
Well, yeah, I mean, but other than this level, like, are there rocket bottles anywhere?
You might be right.
I think it's the same for Spyro 2, actually. I think Scorch is the only place where they show up.
No, Crystal Glacier has them.
Oh yeah, Crystal Glacier has the first two. You're right.
So,
Shouldn't be asking questions. I should just ask you if they're there or not.
Yeah, speaking of things having like certain little gem pop-ups or whatever they're encased in only showing up once in a level, there's also only one mystery jar in this
Yeah.
game, and it's in this
I
level.
must admit, I am.
Yeah.
And the thing they messed up with the mystery jar is that when you fireball it, and it's gonna be used once he does do the mystery jar, he's gonna have fireball. But when you fireball the mystery jar and then not have the camera focus on it as it's breaking, the game messes it up and thinks you didn't actually break it. So when you get to the last spot of the mystery jar, no gems pop up.
Yeah. And yeah, Chad is proving me wrong hardcore right now. There's rocket bottles all over Spyro 2.
Yeah.
Don't beat me up, please.
Yeah. For some reason they messed it up, and it doesn't happen in Spyro 2 ever.
Yeah. The mystery
That's
jar in
why-
this level is just super broken. You gotta be
This
really
is why
careful.
Spyro 2 100% is the superior category. Don't run this. I'm kidding, but there's a lot of things you gotta look out for,
Yeah, this
comes to this
category is
game,
pretty
it's-
finicky.
especially when you're doing a bunch of speech traps that end up breaking the game.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of that's really terrible in Spyro 2 is crashing, swimming in Dragon Shores, and doing the orbs out of order in Zephyr. 'Cause I remember Hummel did that in his Crash Vecta. You get the Zephyr orbs in the wrong order, the Romeo and Juliet ones. The first orb will become unavailable until you enter and exit.
Mhm.
With this game, there's quite a few things you gotta think about. Some of them intended and some of them not intended, like the level order for this homeworld. After 3 or 4 levels, Hunter gets captured, and after he gets captured, they actually thought about not having multiple instances of Hunter while he's supposed to be captured. So if you don't do one of the levels that has a challenge that involves Hunter before he's captured, then you have to enter the final boss or leave the final boss or something. You have to trigger a certain cutscene that shows him being released, and until you do that, you can't do any of the challenges. Yeah, I know I'm losing a lot of frames right now. That's why my time is so bad.
You're just seeing the red square on your stream. Flashing back to yellow, back and forth. Yeah.
I'm not sure what's wrong with my internet whenever it drops frames. It does it really irregularly. Like, when most people drop frames, they have a chunk, and then, you know, their stream goes back to normal somewhat. Whenever I drop frames, my stream constantly flickers around like a 300 kilobyte cap. I honestly think it's my ISP throttling me temporarily sometimes, because it's always the exact same dip. So if you want to blame people for the frame drops, blame AT&T, they're shitters. Okay, yeah. If I didn't get that flop, I was gonna try cannon jump, but since I got it first try, I don't have to do that. Basically, there was a jump off the neck of a cannon found a little while ago that saves you having to do that flop, which is actually pretty precise.
Oh, nice. Yeah, getting that flop is a bit tricky. Probably it's one of the hardest things to do in this run,
Yeah.
if not the hardest thing.
There's routes that
Usually
don't
it's
use
not
it.
necessary. Yeah, and the other route for this level doesn't really lose time over this one.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
the
just,
same.
it's just ignorance
It's
and
easier.
sticking with what I
So
learned.
just if you learn this game, learn the other route that's like around the same speed.
Oh wow, I've never had Hunter's dialogue play doing this.
Also, the thing about this level, it's the longest one in the run.
Yeah, this
Takes
level is 12.
Depending what you do in the home world before the segment takes about 12 to 13 minutes.
Yeah. The task finishes this level and Fireworks Factory before most people can finish Lost Fleet. Alright, that's a good crash. Not crash, skateboard crash. I'm scared of that word. Yeah, so the goal for this race, there's going to be 2 races. The first one, you can just go as fast as you want. The second one, you have the responsibility of killing all the crabs because Hunter is a dickhead. If you were to do this race optimally, you'd just go as fast as you possibly could through the first race, and then grab the gems and the crabs all at once during the second race, since you're going to have to detour anyway. But since it's kind of hard to grab the gems all at once, it's much safer to grab them when you have the opportunity. And I wouldn't be going down here, but I ran out of boost, so I'll go ahead and do some of this.
You usually have to rely on your memory of what gems you missed. And you have pretty much 6 opportunities to go back for them.
Yeah. Something Hunter can do during this is, depending on what area the crab is in and what moves Hunter decides to do, he can actually kill quite a few of the crabs for you. It's not good to rely on him because it's certainly not consistent, but it can happen.
Yeah. You can kill a couple crabs. Usually this one you'll kill most of the time. Or if not all of the time, because that crab's only in that one spot, in that little lane.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and kill it myself because Hunter's a bastard and he'll probably miss it for marathon luck.
Yeah, you'll either take down that route with the crab or just go up this ramp, which I'm probably, you think I'm referring to another ramp, but because delay.
Yeah.
Or anywhere near that little lane with the crab. But Hunter got the other crab, which I think is in the little shortcut tunnel.
Yeah, he got
Or
the
cave.
shortcut crab.
Sheesh.
Sheesh. Yeah, that's the skateboard race. You could use the Sparks ability during his dialogue to check, but I totally forgot until I was already exiting the level. I'm pretty confident I got the gems anyway though. Actually much more confident in the second half of this run than I was the first half. I did a decent amount of practice of this part. I did not practice the first half because it normally goes okay for me.
Yeah, this is why I'm better than you at the first half. That doesn't really mean much because the late game is actually pretty important.
Getting these vultures on time is actually pretty important. If you don't catch those vultures before they decide to fly around, they can take a bit of time to actually show back in an area where you can hit them. cannon vultures are pretty much the worst thing on the planet, so missing them is pretty easy.
Would you look at that?
Yeah, Spyrothon is almost over, but this went really well. I really doubt this will be the last one.
Oh, a level I just thought of that has rocket bottles, Crystal Islands.
Oh, Crystal Islands does have like 1,000 rocket bottles. Jeez. Yeah, I just need to stop acting like I know stuff. I don't remember stuff about this game. I just play it. I can tell you about movement techniques, but if you want to know about the contents of a map, I'm obviously clueless.
Yeah, 12 tally was an optimized world record.
I worked hard on that category. Glad I got to show it off in a marathon. Yeah, this is what I meant by missing. Okay, that was a pretty cool snipe.
Yeah, vultures are around this area, and there's only 3 you can get with this cannon.
Okay.
This one in particular is annoying.
Yeah.
The one that goes around the boat from the distance.
Takes a lot of time to get a second chance, and for some reason my depth perception does not work with that one, so it's a lot of trial and error. "12 tally" is the new meme category. Instead of doing bone dance, I did 12 tally. That is all the gems, I believe. I saw Sparks move at the end. I'm not sure if that was because I hadn't gotten the 5 gem or what. We'll find out soon. This is subs. Subs is not RNG, but it's dealing with the subs movement, and the subs are pretty erratic sometimes.
Yeah, they're all based around where you move next to them, or anywhere around them.
Yeah.
So if you're like trying to cut off a sub's path, I guess it tries to turn around. And it's really annoying because turning with the sub, with our sub, is the worst thing. Because they can just pivot in the complete opposite direction, and we can't do this.
I'm waiting for the day when we figure out it was just a button combination all along. The subs actually aren't hackers. Yeah, that wasn't a great subs one, but it could go much worse than that. Sometimes the subs can just hide from you. They'll move from tunnel to tunnel and will be impossible to find.
Well, I hate it.
Let's see if I can get suicide sub. Ah, so close. Okay, so the reason you turn right at the beginning of subs 2 is for 2 reasons. One is so you can get that metal chest that we didn't get in subs 1, and 2 is so you can attempt to get suicide sub. In subs 2, these subs spawn mines, and if you make that sub spawn in the right spot and make him pivot at the right moment, he will spawn a mine, pivot, and instantly turn back into it, killing himself for you. Also, you can hit those mines yourself. That's actually a thing that happens. That's what they're supposed to do.
What, you mean like hit them with your missiles, or just ramming into them?
I'll probably ram
Which is
into
what?
them.
Yep, there's one.
But yeah, getting hit by those is pretty bad since it starts the entire challenge over. That wasn't too bad of a fail. That was pretty early into subs. I hadn't even attempted to get any of the annoying ones yet. There's a few subs that are just really dumb with their movement patterns. Most of them are up top, which are the ones that I just got. The others like to hide in the caves and stay there for forever.
Plus the locking on mechanic is complete shit.
Yeah, Sometimes you'll get a lock-on that stays stuck through walls, even though it's supposed to disengage through walls. And other times you'll get a lock-on that just will not work. And the duration of time that it takes to lock on can also be pretty troublesome. Also, flying in front of that mast, or swimming in front of that mast, I mean, breaks your lock, so that's a problem. Alright, now we get to go and to this nice scoop and get all the gems that I released. There's a few ways you can do this area. The way I do, I just copied from Alex, which only gets the invincibility power up twice, or 3 times, including the first time. You can do this area a lot safer and not risk dying at the end, but it's slow, so doing it this way is much better. So that is hopefully the last time I'll have to get the invincibility power up. As long as you make Sparks do what he's supposed to, you can grab these gems from really far away underwater, and if you cut enough corners you can make this in one cycle.
I'm watching Hitbox, like I have like just the same amount of delay you would have on Twitch. It's weird.
Probably my internet, to be honest.
I wasn't really buffering at all. So.
Yeah, that was a pretty good lost fleet actually. I can't think of anything that went terrible. This is where there's a few homeworld routes that people do. I think I do one of the less common ones. I think I took Saboom's homeworld route for this. Most people do all of this stuff before fireworks instead of Bentley or something. I don't really remember. There is a few route differences between people here though. You don't actually need to do zombie swim in this category since you have to get all these eggs in a row and you have to skip into Bentley. You can just do it this way. Please don't fail this hover. Okay. I was looking at their hunk spot. Alright, now we're gonna go for something that's really stupid. Try to get hover this out of bounds here. Good job, I did it. Normally you'd have to maneuver around Honey Speedway, but since in this category Honey Speedway isn't there, it's actually where it's supposed to be, you can just glide straight across and it makes that skip super simple.
Yeah, and stuff like, well, really 100 egg and 80% actually. Honey Speedway's portal, since you don't have it unlocked during the time you want to enter Bentley, it's around the same spot as where Bentley's portal is stored. So you can just like misjudge where Bentley's portal could be and just enter Honey Speedway like that.
Well, that spot actually doesn't change on 1.0. It's the other out of bounds that changes. That's just the same as 1.1. Don't try to downplay my amazing feats of skill. Is world record proxy used in this? World record proxy is used in every world record, as the name pretty much implies. I'll try it here. I tried it in my 80% run, but I did it incorrectly. Oh god, that was a big one. Okay. It worked.
Gotta see this. Oh, I just like paused and played your stream and I missed it. Well, rip me. I can see it on the other stream.
Catch the other delay.
this wonderful delay. Yeah, I paused and played it and just it played it's the exact spot when you did it.
Push.
Thank you, buffering and stuff.
This level is very basic. There's no skips or tricks really.
Yeah. You're basically escorting Bartholomew through to the end.
There's one benefit of this category though. Since I need to get over to this other pillar and Bartholomew is in the way, you could either go behind him and not talk to him, or you could squish him and walk in front of him. One of them is a lot more fun than the other.
Yeah, squishing him is pretty nice. Just turns into a pancake. Yeah, now it's kind of backtracking from here.
Yeah. There's a upper area and a lower area to this level. We're going through the upper area. I really like the ending of this level. It just feels nice when you collect all the gems correctly. You don't have to stop hardly at all. Yeah, world record is 3:25:25 by me, and then the second place time is 3:25:29 by Alex.
Hello.
Yeah, that is the person in Mumble.
Yeah. I improved the 3:28:01 I had into my time now, and then on the same day, a few hours after, he just got time 4 seconds better. GG.
Oh dude,
Oh,
another
funny
gold mine.
story. Gold mine arena.
Alright, let's get Firefly.
That
Fuck, I
causes
almost
you.
had it.
Oh.
That's pretty much what all my attempts have looked like recently, even when practicing it. They're just not enough.
Firefly is actually useful in 117, only if you're tasks.
Yeah. I wanted to learn the route one day, but I only watched it and then tried to do it in a run, and I actually got the proxy, but I forgot everything else. Wow, why did you turn around so quick? Okay, let's just do this, I guess. What an asshole. Actually, I think I did something wrong there. I was supposed to wait for it to turn around first, I'm pretty sure. I just didn't remember that part. I think whenever I practiced this level, I went slow enough that it didn't matter. And I did not get in this room yet, right? Yeah. Wow, okay. Didn't even need that rocket. Interesting cycles. Why did I try that?
Yeah, basically the guys with the TNT barrels strapped on behind their backs are on cycles. And if they're facing you, you need a rocket to kill them. But if they're walking away from you, or if they can't see you, then you can just flame the TNT barrel behind them.
I hope that killed the one on the left and not the one on the right. Yeah, okay, good. I have to kill these guys without dying, which is somewhat difficult. Okay, I didn't die. That's good. Being in a tiny room with a bunch of those ninjas is a really bad thing, especially when you're a monkey. Alright,
which
now,
you might see,
hopefully not.
or you might not.
Alright. I was attempting to catch a gem there, which I got. If you catch that 2 gem, the route that I'm doing, you don't have to do a little bit of backtracking at the end of this level, which saves a decent amount of time.
Yeah, that 2 gem doesn't fall in the spot where all the other gems are at, just at the top. Because it'll just fall down from below. And there's no real way to get back up there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mention, I'm pretty much always sparksless for this challenge. I suck at everything, so this always happens no matter what run I'm doing. 100 egg, 117, I'm pretty much never have sparks for this challenge, which sucks because there's lots of opportunities to get hit.
Yeah, I think there's only like 1 fodder in this area, so
Yeah. It's not until...
pretty nice of the developers to just assume you're a god at this game.
That feel when you're better than any 7-year-old ever was and still can't do it. Yeah, I usually get hit towards the end somewhere like that, and if I get hit here, it's bad news. Okay, luckily I didn't. Now I have to either get really lucky with getting these gems here, or death abuse, depending on where they land. That first one
gems
landed
from
a
these
lot. Okay.
gems from these guys can either fall in the lava or, well, fall in spots like that. And since he's sparksless, that's yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be good for one of the gems because you'll have sparks back after he respawns.
Now we're gonna do one of the tricks that saves probably the most time out of any of them hardly, other than the sequence breaks. Alright, we got it. Cool.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah.
you can pause buffer out of side character dialogue in this game, and in this level in particular it saves a lot of time. Whenever you do it, you can death abuse and then respawn in the level as Spyro instead of the monkey, which is really good because the monkey is very vulnerable when he's standing still, and as Spyro you can just continue charging and never get hit.
Yeah, in RTA this saves quite a bit of time.
Yeah, at least a minute, and more if you're really bad.
So definitely try to go for this because it'll just save you a lot of time if you're not really good with Agent 9 zigzagging.
Yeah, it's impossible to be a human and do this faster than Agent Spyro.
We recommend watching the task for this area. By the way,
the task is impressive.
It doesn't do Agent Spyro. It does Agent 9.
Yeah.
Everything.
Agent
And
9.
it clears. It gets the first egg in 11 seconds. So just
Agent
while
9
collecting
is
some gems.
the
So
fastest
take that into
character.
consideration.
That feel when I might die is Spyro. Okay.
It basically clears the entire area under a minute. Well less under it.
Yeah. It does the entire area 100% faster than we do just trying to get the eggs.
Even as Spyro.
Yeah. I'm actually really glad I got Agent Spyro. I think this is the first time it's been gotten at the marathon, even though it's been come across several times.
Don't die.
Thanks for Wesley.
So yeah, now after that challenge, which was a lot nicer than it could have been, we get to go to a different shitfest. None of the side areas in this level are particularly easy. They're all very difficult to do quickly. You're gonna lose time in 117. This is probably where you're gonna lose a lot of it.
Yeah, Twin Dragons is not RNG. You can manipulate their movement by just, I guess, knowing like, what side you want to be on when you're chasing them.
Apparently I am
Because
really
going
bad
through,
movement.
having them going through these tunnels is bad. Because you can't hit them, and just trying to chase
Stop.
them in these tunnels is, well, really slow.
Yeah. That pattern I just got there, where he was constantly weaving in and out of the tunnels, is the exact opposite of what you want. You do not want them to enter those tunnels at all, and it's possible to make them not enter the tunnels, but predicting their movement and manipulating their movement is extremely difficult. Whoa. Oh god, he almost sniped me. Yeah, their fireballs are pretty accurate whenever they decide to shoot them, so getting hit
Yeah.
by them can be a problem.
They only shoot once their face faces you, and yeah, right there. You just got he had 3 fireballs shot towards you. Basically, the closer you are, you'll just for sure get hit.
Really bad movement from the dragon. So yeah, this challenge can go a lot faster than it has. It can also go a lot slower than it will. Just really depends
Ooh.
on how good you. Okay, he's starting to regenerate.
Yeah,
If you don't
dragons. Yeah, the dragons. If you don't hit them for a certain period of time, they'll start regenerating their health.
Oh man, I'm
Basically-
getting really unlucky.
Basically, growing
Okay.
back the parts they've lost.
Okay, that was really bad. Once they get smaller, it becomes considerably more difficult to hit them. Good, not missing gems here is always nice. Yeah, so after that cutscene, Hunter will be... No, Hunter's still locked in that cutscene. He doesn't get unlocked until you go into Scorch or something. But yeah, those cutscenes are what I meant by Hunter being locked up. There was a cutscene of him falling in a hole right after Bentley, but I skipped that pretty quickly. It's not a normal cutscene, it was a real-time in-game cutscene, not a recorded thing.
Thing about this cutscene is that whenever you want to go to Speedway afterwards, and try to do the Hunter challenge, he won't be there.
Yeah.
So it's a bit crafty as well. How they did it. Or at least try to make it make sense, unlike some of this game.
Yeah, okay. This level is probably one of my least favorite levels because it has boxing. I'm sure everyone who's ever heard of this game has either played through boxing or heard someone complain about boxing. It's even worse when you want to try to do it fast because it's not really that consistent.
Yeah, there is a strat we do for boxing that makes it way easier. Because boxing, you have a lot of moves you can do with the 4 face buttons. Triangle is for blocking punches at your face. Square is for jabbing. Circle is for what, a body blow or something?
Circle's the big punch, the one that you pull like war back with.
Yeah. I think the game calls it Bokaroo or something. I don't know.
Gonna.
And then X is, well, the body blow.
Yeah.
But we only use jabbing, really. Some people might use the body blow. Sometimes. But typically, just jabbing makes this challenge considerably easier.
Yeah.
Because really just trying to do this the way the game wanted you to is... Oh my god.
Spamming inputs
Good
is
luck
much easier.
trying. Because the Yeti just wrecks you. You ever try that?
Now you can do a little egg dance. Before Bartholomew talks to you, you can move forward a little bit, and if you do that while he's giving you an egg, Billy will stutter around on the egg. Alright, so now we're in Boxing 2, and it's a pretty inconsistent trick you can do here. It's called one-round boxing. It's pretty self-explanatory. You want to kill the Yeti in one round. If you don't get it, you have to move on to the second round, and both of you get health replenished, so it really is bad if you don't get one round. Most people don't even expect it because it's just so hard, but once you start actually getting it, you really want it. It's one of those things that once you get used to it, you don't want to stop getting it.
Yeah. If you don't one-round boxing, it depends how much health you took off. And usually, you'd maybe lose 20 to 40 seconds. As long as the Yeti doesn't wreck you.
Cool. I got one round with less than a second on the clock. So that wasn't great, but it was
nice.
good enough. Like,
One
getting
thing-
Boxing 2 ever.
A good thing to mention about boxing with the jabbing thing, you kind of see it break through, like the, I guess, block the Yeti does for his face. When it breaks through his blockage, he kind of does the animation for when he gets hit by the body blow. And this makes the game think you did hit him with the body blow. And the body blow does like 1 extra damage than the jab. So it just... you just end up doing more damage to it.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's okay. I'm fine. I went over there to get sparks, but I decided I'd go for a proxy. If you get a man with proxy where I was screwing around and got killed, you can just go straight over this wall and avoid paying this money bags. Pretty sure it's faster, even if you're not just attempting to avoid money bags, but it's not much faster. Wow, this guy is gonna wreck me, isn't he? He's already scored once. I'm scared. Please. Yeah, cat hockey is bad. There's not a whole lot consistent about it. The cat's movement is RNG. Aiming the cats is pretty hard.
Well done.
That was a pretty good cat hockey though.
Thanks for helping out.
Don't think I killed this guy. Yeah, okay, good. I also almost went into the end of level portal right there. I've forfeit over that before, so I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, it's happened to me like a couple times. And usually it was from holding left to go to cat hockey.
I just turned the wrong direction.
Yeah, I hold left and it just turns me right into the portal. Yeah, makes sense.
Ooh, alright. Missing a gem. Oh, I just missed one of the baskets. I totally didn't even notice.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was hoping you would notice that, but...
No, I didn't. I had to use my Sparks finder. Alright. Now we get to go do shit RNG boss again. Not again in this category, but I've done this boss 3 times within the past couple days, which is more than I usually do. I don't normally do that many attempts that make it this far.
Yeah, this boss has bad RNG.
Again, another watered down explanation. There's red rockets and green rockets, there's energy ball attacks, and there's everything else. You want energy ball attacks and red rockets, which is not going too well since you need red rockets for anything else to matter, and I have not gotten those yet. However, the enemy RNG is pretty good other than that.
Green rockets, you only have one of them. And they're supposedly supposed to home in.
Yeah.
Supposedly supposed to, yeah. Good.
Never seen that happen before, but it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, the homing effect on them is really ass. Yeah, you can either do these energy ball attacks or spawn enemies. Whether it be crabs, weasels, buzz, or that flaming troll thing.
That was a pretty average Scorch fight.
Yeah.
Alright, now we do the next Sparks level. This one's Starfish Reef. This one's unique to all the others, since for most of the areas you have to kill all of the enemies in that area before being able to advance.
Yeah, and the others you have mostly keys to get to next area. Don't have to kill all the things.
Yeah.
There is now a bounds you can do. Coming up with this. I don't know what you call them. I call them eels.
Bugs, yeah.
Yeah, you can do it if you try to do specific movement around that eel. You can go out of bounds, do the boss early, and then all the doors just automatically open after that.
I've never actually tried the out of bounds. Is it even close to RTA viable?
I don't think it's really easy.
I did the out of bounds in Bugbot, but I know that one's done in 149 eggs, so it's obviously RTA viable.
The thing is, you have to damage abuse doing it, and that's really bad for Sparks because Sparks hardly has any invincibility frames, so you get hit a lot within a short period of time.
I've never done any of the damage boosts like that without coming out of it with only one slice of spark stuff. Oh, I'm already out of that power up. I use that a lot more than I usually do, I guess. That's okay. That power up is actually preferable for that area for me most of the time.
Usually people try to dodge power-ups that aren't the little spread attack one, but for those eels it's kind of helpful.
Since there's a green power-up right after it, it really doesn't matter.
I'm sure you can like save a couple seconds or something if you're really good at aiming with the spread attack.
Yeah, for sure. I really not get that green gem. That just made that entire miniature detour useless.
Yeah, the route for this one is a bit weird. You're just kind of going around in circles or something, trying to kill enemies. It just makes the gameplay of the level really sloppy because you have to kill everything.
Yeah. This is probably my least favorite Sparks level just because it feels bad. It's not hard or anything. It's actually pretty easy to avoid death here if you're not being an idiot and trying to go too fast. Which I have done plenty of times actually. But yeah, this boss is one of the ones that really benefits from having the power up. Unfortunately I used too much of it in the rest of the level because I didn't remember about it. If you have the rapid fire power for this, you can kill the little enemies it spawns before it spawns them. And when there's two of them, that really helps, since you can't really focus on both of them at the same time. Yeah, Alex is just being awesome and stepping in last second to talk. Okay, that is all the gems. Good. Oh, yeah, that's another version difference. For some reason, they spawn you further back on 1.0 for that Sparks ability.
Yeah.
So if you're forgetful, you can actually skip that one. You have to walk forward to trigger it. I think you can skip all of them if you're quick, but you really don't want to.
I think you can charge jump in greatest hits out of it, though. Like, they spawn you further up so that you talk to Zoe without having to move, but I think you can still charge jump out of the trigger. Yeah, thing is, you only get the power up if, well, yeah, I guess it's a power up, kind of. You only get the Sparks power up after you talk to Zoe, for some reason.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with beating the level. It's talking to Zoe after you beat the level, whenever she tells you that what you've done actually had an effect. Because the plot behind it is supposed to be like Sparks got so close to the egg that some of the magic rubbed off of him or something. But in reality it's just Zoe giving you the ability. She's just an asshole.
You did it, Spyro.
Now you're gonna have green Sparks for this fight.
Yeah, I just thought about that. I don't want that. Thanks for saying something. It's probably slower to go get Sparks, but I don't want to.
This is the worst fight in the game.
Yeah, so...
And yeah, basically it involves certain vehicles that you get after a certain amount of hits you get on them from Sorceress. And it's only based around Agent 9 shooting them down for you.
Yeah.
And when you're at green Sparks, he'll shoot down sheep.
Basically, Agent 9 determines how this fight goes. A lot of it can be managed by you aiming your vehicles well and fighting quickly, but ultimately it's just if Agent 9 decides to shoot down the extra vehicles or not. This fight can be really quick if everything goes correctly. Like it just did. If I get an extra tank, then that's God Sorceress. No.
Yeah, you basically... Okay, so yeah, you can skip like the sequenced vehicles you're supposed to have in order, which is cannon, tank, and then UFO. But he basically skipped the tank phase.
Yeah. If you get lucky, you can have Agent 9 drop the tank while you're finishing up the tank phase with the cannon, and you can use that tank during the UFO phase. And it's what we call God Sorceress. It cuts the fight about 30 seconds shorter than what a well-played Sorceress would be without any vehicle skips. But yeah, I got knocked off the UFO there, so now I'm gonna have to deal with Fireball RNG and waiting for Agent 9 to shoot a UFO. Fortunately, that was pretty quick. Sometimes he can decide that you need sparks even when you're at blue sparks, so he'll run around shooting sheep for up to 30 seconds sometimes.
Yeah, each vehicle pretty much has a set amount of hits you can do before it goes into the next phase. Which cannon, it's 2 hits, tank is 4 hits, and the rest are from the UFO. And you saw him skip the tank phase, which tank is pretty much the best vehicle you can get.
Yeah.
And you want that during what's supposedly the UFO phase. It just cuts down so much and you don't have to control a shitty vehicle
Yeah.
like the UFO.
The UFO takes a lot of learning to get used to where the shots are going to go. Since there's no crosshair, you're just judging off of the orientation of where you're facing. Gives a lot of people a lot of trouble. Yeah, these bug thieves are pretty annoying. You can do flame charges with sparks to make them a little more bearable, but even then they're still finicky. Alright, I grabbed that invincibility kind of early, so I'm not sure how I'm going to work with this cycle. I don't know how tight it is, I don't remember. Basically, whenever you get invincibility as sparks, you want to use as much of it as possible, and since it's on a timer, you want to move pretty quickly. Okay, I'll go back for that turn later. I'm gonna get this thief. Not exactly how the route is supposed to go, but that wasn't too bad of a recovery. Now we try to keep this green power up for the final boss. Shit, that was dumb.
Don't tell me you died.
Yeah, definitely.
You did. Yeah.
I like to death abuse through those ladybugs because I know they're sparks later, but sometimes I get a little ahead of myself. So now I do not have the green power up for the final boss, which is going to be a bit of a pain. Having the power up definitely cuts down this fight a lot.
Yeah, not having it, well, basically the final boss moves around very quickly in just random patterns. Well, based on where you're moving as well, but
Yeah, the only strategy without the power up is just to hug his side and hold circle.
yeah, for some reason you don't take damage from touching him. They'll shoot things at you, but that's it. You can just touch him. Not take damage.
The hardest part
Yeah,
is
he's-
whenever he gets down to one piece.
And he splits into 2, which is even more annoying.
That wasn't a bad power-upless fight. That was a pretty stupid way to lose the power-up the way I did though.
That last egg must have...
Alright, so now Sparks is super overpowered. He has the ability to warp me between levels, and he can break vases and baskets for me. At this point, gameplay changes just a little bit. I can cut corners way wider. Everything just gets a little bit faster. Unless Sparks is busy picking up other gems. In that case, he doesn't pick up the gems he breaks from the vase.
Yeah, when he gets behind from having to eat a butterfly, and then at the right time as you're passing a vase or a basket, he can break it, but the gem doesn't home in because he was so far behind.
Desert Ruins is an interesting level. We're gonna do this level backwards because there's a key that you need. I'm actually forgetting a couple gems. There we go. We could do a scorpion proxy, like we do in the other categories, but since the scorpions have gems, it's a little bit faster if you could do Crimson Chin to do that, which I can't do right now. Probably should have just gone for scorpion proxy. Because I am not used to this trick at all. I'll try it one more time, and if I don't get it, I'll go around. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Wow.
Basically, there's a few ways to get to the beginning of this, or the end of this level from the beginning. One of them is a scorpion proxy, the other is Crimson Chin, and the other is doing it this way, which is the strat from like 40 years ago.
Well, look.
Alright, so these guys, these little metal grates, they have metal guys that like to light them on fire, but as long as the metal guy is dead, it doesn't matter if the grate is lit up or not. As soon as the guy that heats everything up is dead, the damage won't affect you anymore. So if you can kill them while you're in the air, you can actually land on the metal while it's still red and be fine.
I've been training my pet.
This is Mana Rays. Hunter took his Mana Ray from Spyro 2 and mounted guns to it, because what else would you do with a Mana Ray?
It's not even good guns, they kind of shoot oddly.
Yeah, they took the terrible design of the underwater fireballs and stuck them onto this Manta Ray.
Yeah, just aiming at these sharks, or anything in general, it's like the bullets kind of just, they go straight, but also kind of go in circles a little bit.
Yeah. It's not the nicest thing.
It's not even a little bit, they go in like wide circles, so it's just, aiming is impossible, basically.
The best method is just point yourself at them, spam circle and pray.
Oh my god. Oh god, I thought you were gonna die.
I was pretty sure I was dead too.
Yeah, if they have you on sight, you can get shot at.
Alright, I missed a gem over to my right. You want to try to get as many of the gems as you can as the Manta Ray, since the Manta Ray moves speedy fast. But since it's really hard to use Sparks' gem finder ability during that, it's easier to just get as much as you can and finish the challenge and get what's left over after. Also, I could have an extra gem, or I could be missing a gem, but I don't recognize this gem count right now. wanted to get that life bottle, but I failed a flame charge. Yeah, that hand I just jumped on, its hitbox isn't really aligned with what you can see, so you have to be really careful that you don't miss hovering onto that.
Yeah, where you can land is a bit higher than you see. So if you ever,
Hi, Spyro.
like, it looks like you can make it hoverless, but no, you can't.
Yeah.
Ever.
This is a pretty simple side-scroller thing with Sheila. Actually pretty fun to do when it goes well. Again, abusing the concept that as soon as the metal guy is dead, you don't have to worry about getting hurt. Lets you skip a couple cycles.
And this is probably the only time Sheila is actually good, because the 2D section is actually good for her controls.
Okay, I don't know if I've had a stutter jump yet in this run, but there you go. That's a stutter jump.
Oh, that one's nice. I love that. And you missed the gem from one of the faces.
I think I got it. I think I saw it home in.
Did you?
Pretty sure.
I don't know. Don't trust me, by the way. Okay, you definitely didn't get that one.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, on the topic of that stutter jump, basically if you have a jump that's just too close to the edge, you can get a thing called a stutter jump. Basically thinks you were off of the edge of the land when you were still on it. So instead of just totally cutting your jump or letting you actually just have the jump, it halves your jump height. And it can really screw you up wherever it happens. Yeah, I got the gems. That's good. That level is not fun to miss gems in.
Yeah, because sometimes you can probably miss gems in manta rays, which is likely to happen.
Now we get to flame moneybags. I recently learned how quickly you could flame him. I didn't know what the timing was. Now I know it's just whenever he touches the ground.
Jesus, yeah, that was pretty fast.
I thought it was whenever the gems stopped coming out of him, so I used to wait a long time.
Some people who have played this casually probably remember that taking longer, but that's yeah, that's because it's the amount of times you pay him throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
And we only paid him like what, twice?
3 times.
Three
Nancy,
times.
Thieves, and something else that I'm forgetting.
Right. Well, 3 times, yeah. It's basically set to an amount of times you can flame or charge him. Not the same amount of times you pay him, but
Yeah. Something about
yeah.
the number of gems is related to how many times you have to flame him. Alright, so didn't use Agent 9 in this game yet because we got Agent Spyro, which is really good. But now I get to talk about the movement mechanic Agent 9 has. It's called zigzagging. Basically, if you hold one strafe button and then mash the other, the game for some reason gives Agent 9 a shit ton of speed. And if you can do that correctly, you can move through the level pretty quickly. It's a little different between first person and third person. In first person, the only requirement is to be mashing the strafe buttons. In third person, you actually have to be holding a diagonal direction, so up right or up left, for the zigzagging to work. Makes it pretty difficult to do it optimally in third person since you can't move in a straight line.
And again, we recommend seeing the tasks of this level
Yeah.
in the 117% tasks.
117 TAS has it has perfect control over Agent 9, and since Agent 9 can be the fastest character in the game if he's handled well, it's really impressive whenever you can see it handled perfectly. Bad. Say that was bad. I probably shot more birds than I usually do just then.
The lab's
Yeah, like that was my attempt at zigzagging and trying to go fast. As you can see, it got out of control pretty quick.
Yeah, he's usually pretty uncontrollable. I guess if you're actually good at zigzagging with Agent 9, you can have some kind of control, somewhat.
Yeah, you can determine the direction he's going in within a reasonable degree. Otherwise, it's pretty impossible to do this well.
But like being able to control the speed you get, it's just dependent on how fast you're kind of hitting the R1 button while you're holding L1.
Yeah.
Or if you're doing the other way, it's alternatively hitting between L1 and R1.
I guess the "you already have Tony" thing should be explained. Basically, whenever that boat dies, the egg is on the ground before that cutscene teleports you into focusing on the egg. And if you're standing in the trigger for that egg, you can actually collect the egg before the game thinks you were supposed to collect it. And whenever you collect it the second time, it'll tell you that you already have it. I think before the task, nobody really knew why it happened, and then Nitroff figured it out.
thank you very much.
Right,
Okay, here's a thing we call back to front. We're going to abuse the zigzagging and try to get it at a certain speed and have Agent 9 just shoot up into the air and just get back to the yeah back to the start of the level, because you need to backtrack for a gem chest.
Yeah, it's only really worth going for once, since you have to backtrack for bombs after missing it. Really good return zigzagging though, I didn't die. That's more than I expect.
You're kind of on the edge of the water.
Yeah, that's where if I try to go fast on the return trip, that's where I'll just fly out into the water and die. That was a pretty good Agent 9 though. The only mistake was back to front.
Yeah, there's like two different methods for doing back to front. There's the zigzag way, and then there's like using bombs to kind of boost you upward in the water to get to the start of the level. Basically, it's damage abusing in the water, and then when you jump out of it, you throw a bomb, and if you time this right, the bomb you throw kind of just sends you more upward in the air. So it gives you a little bit more distance because of it.
I got pushed down in the water by that octopus.
So you pretty much do that about like 3 or 4 times or something.
Yeah. It's much easier than doing the zigzagging, but it has the downsides of being pretty slow because you're not going to have enough mines by that point without backtracking at least once for more mines. And if you can do the zigzagging, it's much quicker to do it that way. Unfortunately, zigzagging is a lot more sporadic and hard to control, so people that do zigzag back to front get back to front a lot less. It's just kind of a risk-reward trade-off, though. Yeah, I shouldn't have gone for that.
Nice. Alright, so coming up is a little swim there.
Hopefully. There it goes.
Yeah, this one's not really that bad, but
It can be finicky if you're not patient. And here's the rocket bottles that I forgot existed.
wow, you got damages. Nice. Which I guess is pretty easy for the way it looked.
Yeah, you just rub across the top of it.
Big brother.
I'm not confident I got all those gems, but it's not too much of a problem to go back.
Yeah. The intended way of getting there is using that flying power up.
Yeah, I'll hurry up, Matt, don't worry.
Plus he just killed a thief, which you're supposed to chase
Yeah,
flying through the level, but
played this when you were little,
They-
you probably wasted a lot of time on that.
they didn't really bother coding it to make the thief go the other way,
Yeah.
which they wouldn't expect you to just wreck it from the front.
Evan, please don't. Our reputation will be dead.
Also, here's more boring bullshit from Bentley.
Yeah. Bentley does not do anything fast. Can't. So instead they give him slow stuff like whack-a-mole and boxing and giving you shit RNG. Actually, the spot that I'm in right now for some reason has an increased spawn rate of moles, and it's extremely unlikely for a wizard to spawn here. I don't even know if it's possible.
No, it's not. If you go a little bit below, then there's a
Am I gonna
wizard
lose?
spawn.
I'm gonna
Please
lose.
don't lose.
Oh, that's not fair, dude.
A light tap on the head should
Why?
Rip.
That's not fair. Like, what? I feel cheated. I swear that timer was shorter. Like, I've never had trouble with boxing before. It's usually so easy. Did I say
Boxing?
boxing? Yeah, I did say boxing. I meant moles, obviously. Fucking epic. Mole boxing. Wow, the double hit. Yeah, okay. So, kill that. If you have enough time, you can go for a one cycle like this. I'm probably cutting it a bit close. I shouldn't have done this. Yeah. There's a little bit of RNG on that last mole spawning. Sometimes it can take a long time to spawn, so that thing is a little bit risky to go for. Don't charge off the edge, that's slow.
Oh yeah, the enemies that cause a shockwave on the ground. If you flame it, if you flame it while it's doing the shockwave thing attack, the attack's hitbox doesn't exist anymore once you
Okay.
flame it. Oh my god, Grant.
I almost ran out. That was too close. Alright, I'm gonna go for a proxy here. That is useless in this category. Okay, I got a forward proxy. Save those frames that I lost.
Yeah, just flaming those guys that do the shockwave attack before the shockwave hits you. The attack's hitbox just goes away immediately.
So, this slide sucks. The goal is to get all the gems in one cycle, but Sparks can be an ass, and Spyro moves pretty fast. So you really have to pick up the gems with Spyro, which can be finicky since moving fast and having odd controls.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Did I get all those at the end? Hope. You can get those, I think.
So.
Yeah, I got everything.
You can get those if you happen to miss them.
So yeah, that's one cycle slide. If you miss gems, you either have to death the beast before getting the egg or exit area.
Which is better to exit area than
Yeah.
enter. So yeah, that slide's basically get good. Like, there's no easy strat for it.
I guess if you could do the turtle proxy, you might be able to run down part of it, maybe? But I don't know if you could skip all of the slide triggers. Alright, this level, pretty cool. I like the route for this level a lot. Pretty sure I missed a green gem.
Haunted Tomb has a pretty nice route to it.
Did I hit the button again? Pretty sure I did. Yeah, that made the door skip take a bit longer. Alright, tried doing quick riddle. I'll try it again. Nope. Basically, if you test your luck, you can spam down an X on that menu, and if you get really lucky, you can do it really fast. And if you don't get lucky, you'll just end up failing the riddle over and over like that. But now we're gonna go to the next stage at 9 challenge, which is also broken with zigzagging.
Each of the NPCs in this level have riddles for you to answer. Which I don't understand why Insomniac thought that was a good idea.
Kids love riddles. Okay.
Even though some are obvious. Like the egg one.
Well, they had to make that one easy, otherwise you'd never finish the level.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, okay, so basically the way that trick works is whenever Agent 9's... Give me a second. Whenever Agent 9 is going fast and he's strafing, he has the ability to kind of walk up slope walls. So if you get enough speed, you can just get up on the side of that wall and skip every single little miniature fight. That skip saves probably a minute or two. It's a really cool skip. Never actually... I don't
don't think
know
it's
if
a
I did
minute.
that. Is it?
Like, that challenge takes a while with Agent 9 if you're not good.
Yeah.
Which I don't think hardly anyone is.
I just really can't give an estimate on how much that saves, because I haven't seen that challenge done casually in many years.
It should save a lot. I'd say definitely over 2 minutes.
I'm not even sure if I did that minigame as a kid. I might have just skipped over it.
Yeah, as a kid, the Agent 9 challenge in Haunted Tomb was probably one of the most frustrating things ever. Anything Agent 9 is really frustrating.
Alright, so this is tanks that we're going into. Tanks has somewhat of a steep learning curve, but once you get it down, it's a really fun challenge to do. I think strafing is the fastest way to move in this challenge for sure, so trying to strafe through the entire challenge is the goal, for me at least. There's some other strats that you can do that involve just rotating your tank in a central point, but I've never learned how to do that. As for tanks 2, pretty much just don't die and try to do it fast. There's shots that you can do that work somewhat consistently, and you can do the tanks in the same order every time, but other than that it's just getting good.
Yeah, I can't even do strafe strats. Just, no.
I love sniping
know how you
the ones
do
in the
it.
background.
Oh wow, nice.
I don't even think I shot that guy. I think that was a shot from one of the other tanks. Sometimes they can friendly fire each other, and it's actually really cool when it happens. Fuck off, stupid bug. God damn it.
Wow, rim bug. Just got wrecked.
It's costing me time. Turn the camera, please. Yeah. This guy won't throw bombs unless you're looking at him, so trying to get behind that the way I do is probably a bad idea. I think there's a better time to get that actually, I just do it that way because that's what I'm used to.
Yeah, it's more than likely better to get it after this section.
Yeah, after the 3 baskets.
So you're actually looking at the guy.
Oh dude, that was cool. Okay, so that's a small thing, but trying to get past that sarcophagus without bonking is actually kind of hard. I'm really happy that worked.
Yeah, this level is kind of based around the Earth Shapers throwing rocks. And you need them for killing them and the tombs.
That's not what I expected to miss. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I thought you missed that one, actually.
It's a pretty good gem to miss out of all the other stuff.
Yeah, just imagine crashing there. It was fit.
That would have been epic. Alright, Dino Mines is pretty much just do the level casually. There's not many tricks here.
Yeah, it's one of the couple levels where you just pretty much go from the beginning straight to the actual end of the level. But it's also got a lot of really weird movement because of
Yeah. Cactuses are extremely annoying in this level. I've never gotten that dino without getting hit by him first. And whenever I do, it's because I like swung the camera around so he wasn't about to do his attack. Sparks? Wow. Yeah. I always get mixed up on those two bases because I can't tell. There's so much shit going on right there.
You need to make a proxy route.
If
We'll
you
see how
can
that
make
would
it
work out.
fast, that would be cool, but I don't see it being fast. It's like, the entire time you're going through this level, you're getting gems. There's really no downtime to be skipped that way. Okay. That turn would have worked, but I bumped my camera button on my desk, so stuff went weird. Yep, that's great. That's what I wanted to do. Right. I was trying to not be
Yeah.
sparks there, but it didn't
Dodging
work out.
these guys and their tanks is, well, specifically that one. It's hard.
Uh,
12.
Pretty sure I got the gems from everyone else, so I'll be okay.
One of them dinosaurs.
This is the other water tunnel. It's boring, just like the other one.
Except this one, you can actually move up and down.
Yeah.
Still has really bad controls.
Yeah.
Because again, it's based on the camera.
Yeah, if your camera doesn't want you to make a wide turn, or if it doesn't want you to make a narrow turn, the camera can just not get stuck on the corner like you want it to, and you will make a really wide turn and die. I forgot about these. Actually, might start getting those like that. That felt faster.
Also, you haven't dropped frames in a while, so...
Yeah, it's been nice.
Oh, good luck to
There's more fun Agent 9 stuff that everyone loves.
Auto
Did-
scrollers.
And didn't have trouble as a kid. Reminder. This was really easy. I guarantee it.
It's weird thinking
Yeah.
about all this stuff. It like took you multiple tries as a kid, and now it's just simple.
Welcome to speedruns.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just self-explanatory. Just shoot dinos. Unfortunately, you can't free move like the one in Fireworks Factory.
Yeah. If I was a TAS, I'd be doing some cool shit with my cursor right now, but since I'm not, I'm just gonna spin it in circles. And try not to die. See if I can get this early hit. No. You can ricochet some bullets off the wall right there. It's not really an early hit, it's just cool to shoot the dinosaur with a ricocheted shot.
There's also a level skill point.
Yeah.
It's nice to have when you're pretty low on health, because it can happen. Because these dinos' hitboxes can be really weird and
Yeah.
sometimes not work like they're supposed to. Which would just end up in you getting hit by them.
Yeah. The dynamite guys are really the only major threat, since they will do their attack a lot earlier than the other guys. They don't have any wind-up animations or anything.
Yeah, once they get in their spot, they just chuck the TNT just instantly. Once they do that, you can't really do anything to stop it. Not even move like a normal monkey would probably do.
Agent 9 is on his rail and he's not moving. So yeah, this is more fun zigzagging. It's kind of scary in this area because it's pretty easy to kill yourself in certain spots. Missed that 5 gem, that's okay. Okay, yeah, stuff like that can happen where you get launched. Luckily I was inside an enclosed area. That cactus was respawned. Pretty sure they do that just because I died.
Probably.
Jumping jaw.
Yeah, 700 out of 700. So now we got 1 level left and it's a speedway. It's a great way to transition into SBR.
Yeah, it's really easy. Not run killing at all.
Yeah, the speedway is somewhat notorious for killing some runs for some people. The race has plenty of ways to go bad.
And the race is actually kind of hard, because missing too many blue stars is really bad.
There's the easy mode
Like-
race and the hard mode race for this, and on hard mode you need pretty much every blue star, otherwise you'll lose.
Well, I think with supercharging it helps a lot, but if you're mainly just flying for the whole race, then yeah, you can't really miss 2 blue stars or something like that. That was a very low number, but
Yeah, it's not very forgiving. I actually just relearned the speedway route right before this run, so I'm glad I remembered that.
yeah, that was actually good. I hardly nailed that route.
Alright, so now is the fun part. It's just 3 nice repetitive laps. And there's quite a bit of supercharging and transitioning between flying and charging in this level. And normally during those transitions, that's where you're gonna fail stuff. So it's just not a good combination. Especially since this entire level is water practically.
Yeah, I mentioned before that your flight speed gets increased after each speedway. So in Harbor Speedway, you're pretty much at your highest. They pretty much just set a flight speed, and now it's at its max
Yeah.
for this speedway only.
The speedway is actually pretty fun when it goes well, because it's just really fast.
Yeah.
The other speedways feel pretty slow in comparison.
I think as a player, you can actually kind of notice like you actually going fast in this speedway. Oh my god!
I'm okay.
Well,
That's fine.
There's another highlight similar to Honey Speedway.
I'm okay. I'm calm.
I sure hope so.
That jump was a little riskier than I wanted it to be, but I was already committed. That was actually a really good speedway race, other than that one bonk. There we go. It's actually faster to do the race to get to Hunter's Speedway Challenge for this map. Yeah, words. You know what I meant.
Where do these fly?
So this is called That Pass.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird name. We don't know why it's called that.
It's just an auto scroll there. It's pretty similar to the manta ray ring stuff from Spyro 2. There is a weird glitch you can get here that I've only seen Alex get before. Basically, you can clip a ring and not actually have the game fail you, but still miss the ring. And instead of...
No, actually, the ring didn't even come out.
Oh, it just didn't spawn the ring.
Yeah. So I had to like go through the route again.
Yeah, the whole time.
And then up until like the spot where the ring was supposed to come out. Like I had to go through the route entirely again for that ring specifically. And then the UFO died.
Yeah, the UFO just went around its course. It's like, you missed this ring, we're going back to that spot and you're getting this ring. Alright, so now we're in Super Bonus Round, and there's a pretty cool route that's cycle based, so if I can do my movement consistently, you'll see these UFOs go down really quickly. We'll just see what happens.
Hey, you finally made spot this place.
Basically there's a bunch of thieves and a bunch of UFOs, and the thieves react to where Spyro is, and the UFOs are on a cycle.
If you can catch the
So,
thief, you're
I missed
more
one
than
thief that I was trying to get. It's okay. There's always time to get him later. If you charge jump left with that thief, it will always turn around. And I missed a bunch of gems in this area, so I'm gonna have to come back for them. But I don't want to miss the UFO cycle any more than I already have.
And there's a bunch of different routes for this level that pretty much based around UFOs.
Yeah. The routes for this level are really, really cool looking when they work.
Which, if you're expecting them to be actually consistent, considering this is the last thing in a 3.5 hour run, not so likely.
Got it.
This is actually pretty much the hardest thing you can get thrown at.
Wow, that thief was in a better spot than I thought.
Just a bunch of mini games.
Yeah. They bring back pretty much the two hardest minigames. They bring back subs and skateboarding, and they make them even harder. Subs really isn't that much harder.
Hop aboard.
It's only got a one annoying sub that likes to loop back and forth.
Yeah. Subs is just a rehash of the first minigame. However, Yeti Racing is a extremely difficult race if you don't know the skips. Like, that's probably where most kids just quit this game.
Yeah, if you remember the Yeti race, I hope
Sorry.
Grant just doesn't traumatize you.
Yeah, and this is the one annoying UFO, which
Or
is being
bring-
even more annoying.
Or trigger your PTSD.
Alright, so that was
Also,
a really good
yeah,
subs.
that was a good example of lock-on being really weird, but it's actually not that bad for this area.
Since there's a ton of tunnels and subs in Lost Fleet, having your lock-on get stuck through one of those tunnels is really bad because you'll just continuously fire into a wall. In that map it's mostly open, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, Yeti race.
This
Probably
race
tried
is,
this like 10,000 times until you won.
this race is extremely broken.
That's a rough estimate, by the way. Yeah, you can abuse certain checkpoints in the Yeti race to pretty much pull ahead first instantly. I don't know if you're gonna try to go for the one side.
No, I'm not gonna go for the one side.
Yeah, you can apparently grab all the gems and get first
It's basically
in this
task.
race.
Only one person claims to have done it. That is Toto Zigum.
There's another checkpoint he's not really abusing, which is kind of hard to explain.
Yeah, there's
But
basically where the map crosses over itself. It's pretty easy to confuse the game. You can do it in the spot where I am right now, and you can abuse it on the very first ramp of the track. But I don't do that because I take the opportunity of all 3 laps to get all 3 layers of gems on that side. And then I do an interesting little skip right here to skip having to go all the way around the track. If you jump up at this angle and then bonk this pillar, that'll respawn you up top so you don't have to go in a big circle.
oh, nice.
And then we dodge that star and attempt to get the gems. Since I missed it, I'll do a loop around.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it lets you do your backtracking pretty quickly.
Yeah, because since you need to get all the gems again, you have to get boost again, which is kind of slow. Especially if you might not know any checkpoints.
I'm missing a 1 gem, I know where it is though. I always miss something over here. It's really hard to get all of those gems whenever you're running through as quickly as I am. Alright,
That was actually a really good
yeah.
super bonus round.
I don't know how she did it.
I'm gonna attempt UFO proxy a couple times.
I packed some spells on it to give it.
So there's a trick with this UFO. Basically, you can get launched up from jumping on the side, and you can glide over to the sorceress and kill her without even using the UFO, other than getting the proxy. It's a pretty precise trick, so I'm only gonna go for it a few times. Plus, I don't actually want a game over in Super Bonus Round. That'd be pretty sad. Yeah.
Here's the end of Spyrothon.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for sticking around for these 2 days. Marathon went really well. I'm pretty sure everyone was pleased with how it went. Yeah, that's Spyro 3117. And that is the end of Spyrothon.
Yeah, time, basically.
It's like a 3:45 or something, right? Actually, no, I have an
Looks
Amarak
like-
recording. It's like 3:41, I think.
No, you're sub 340.
Oh, somehow. Oh, that's true. I did take a break whenever this local recording was running. My Amarak local recording says 2:43. Yeah, the beginning of that run was pretty trash. The ending was really nice though. I was happy with that. I don't know if we're gonna be doing any bonus streams or anything. Probably not, but yeah, this is where it ends most likely.
Yeah, this marathon was Well,
It certainly won't be
It
the
was-
last.
it's kind of organized, kind of last minute stuff, but
Yeah. It went really well for the amount of effort that went into it.
yeah, it still went pretty well.
But yeah. You
Besides
can-
having to skip a few runs.